Levels Network. I'm Justin Horo, joined by the Triple OG. Mason. Get that fist up into the camera too, Mason. Boom. And the bro, Leaky Stowe, who, by the way, for everyone playing at home, our little mate's a little bit hungover this morning because
he's the fucking best.
He celebrated like he was part of the 18 last night. Mate.
Oh, and, mate, I love it. I love it. Good on you, mate. That's what I was asking. I said, give me out of 10 what you did last night.
Yeah, so
about a 6, I reckon.
He's got no mic. Have you got a rating for last night, Lukey?
I'll tell you what, I'm higher than Zach Mitchell Moses in the newspaper.
There we go. So I've got the newspaper. Oh, by the way, I've got the ratings here.
Oh, who did the ratings? Who did the ratings?
You know they always know all the ratings, don't they, Mace?
Yeah, fucking please. Just tell me who got the ratings and let me give you some credibility.
No, because you're just going to hammer him and we'll leave it at that. we'll have our own player ratings. I'm going to go by position, and we're going to go through and crunch it all down. But before we even get into that, what's your initial thoughts, mate? You must be super proud of what the boys did, being an ex-Blues. You talked about how hard it is to go up there at Suncorp. And from my I caught it last night for SEN, watched it, just live. My initial thoughts is there is a huge gap between New South Wales and Queensland at the moment.
There is, isn't there? And I think the scoreboard didn't really reflect that. It was 18-6, and you're like, shit, Queensland must have been a tight one. It was tight for about 20 minutes when, I reckon from about 25-minute mark on. Like just say in the second half, I thought when it was 14-6, Queensland was sort of making a little bit of a comeback. And I'm like, we've got to put them to bed because if they score, anything can happen. And we worked so hard to get to that point because I thought it should have been about 22-6 anyway. But who cares? We missed a couple of goals. It is what it is. Bizza gets sent off for 10. Then we sort of we got our shit together and then just defended really well. We defended our asses off for that because I was thinking like 25 minutes to go, 14-6, game was on a tilt there. I was worried because Queensland had a fair bit of ball and then those sets when we're on our line and we kept deflecting. They had about 3 or 4 sets and us coming off our line, Nanai trying to get that, Nanai hitting Trell, momentum, scoring in the corner. I was like, fuck, it's happening. They're coming, I think everybody had that sort of feeling. Nanai again, hits him again, nearly loses it again. He was outstanding. Anyone who was bag and scope about picking Nanai, he should have been. If Queensland, get off the fucking ice, the glass fucking pipe. I was like, shut up, mate, come on. Yeah. He proved to everyone that he belongs out there. What a story, we'll get to him later. But I was a bit worried. I was a little bit worried because I know what Queensland's like and that Suncorp crowd, once they get a bit of a momentum, they were really behind them. They just needed to score in that next 10 minutes from 25, but next 10 to 15 minutes. If they scored 14-12, game on for the last 12 minutes. Anything can happen.
Yeah, it's crazy how close the game could have been, but that was purely because of the goal kicking. Like, we'll get to that in a little bit.
And that's a mental thing. That's a mental thing too for the Queenslanders. They're like, they come into half time, they would have went, we just got the shit beat out of us.
Agreed.
It's 14-2.
We're still a chance.
We're still a chance. We score next, we're on.
Yep.
That's it. But mentally, if it's just say it's 20-2, you're like, oh shit, 3 tries. Do we have 3 tries?
Even just one more, like the 14 margin, Mace. But also, you throw that into Brian Toto also getting sin bin right at the end as well. But Val, with the clock going dead in halftime, able to kick that goal. So then not only do you go in with a margin of 12 points, you've also got points on the board, like a duckhead compared to just 2 points. That's mentally just...
It's deflating. It's deflating because you can't break their line. And then I think we were outstanding. I think the best time to get a player sent is at halftime.
Yeah.
You don't really care, do you? It didn't look like New South Wales had 12 people, did it? Because you're fresh. Yeah. You're working your asses off. The middles are working twice as hard. And then you're like, oh, shit, 10 minutes flies in Origin. Next minute, Toto's on. And then, they scored. They scored when we had 13, not 12, did they?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That was off Jeremiah Nanai contact on
off the
Latrell.
Contact. Yep. So they had 13 plays. So it's like, the 12 men didn't get nothing out of it. If you get sent on the 25th minute, 25 to 35. It's a different kettle of fish there. You're sort of dealing with your middles are way tied. Payne Haas is going to be on there for a little bit longer. They're going to drag out those sort of blokes. Lenu's probably going to have to play a longer minutes, but it is what it is. It's just unlucky. So that didn't really play a part in it, which was good, because that was a bit of a call where it's like, fuck, Xavier Coates jumps out of the gym. Do you know what I mean? Like he's and tried, but he just didn't get up that much.
Yeah, I hate the rule. I don't know what Brian To'o's supposed to do there. They've gone up, they've competed for the ball. Brian To'o's almost grabbing him to prevent Xavier Coates from landing on him. Like Xavier Coates had knocked the ball on before Brian To'o started grabbing him, and that was like a level of protection for himself. So you can almost grab him and just go like. So like all the body weight of Xavier Coates doesn't land on him.
100%. Like what are you supposed to do? You go up, and he definitely wasn't playing at Coates until he's like, I'm going down. He's still going up, this man. I'm just grabbing on. It's just sort of like you I don't know what it is. You just naturally do it.
They've got to tweak the rule. I fully understand protecting the players. If a player stands on the ground while another player jumps and you tackle him in the air, that should be a penalty. That should potentially be a penalty try or sin bin. If a player's going up competing for the ball and during that time they're trying to catch the ball and then they have a bit of a wrestle while they're in the air, that's 6 again. That's competition. That's what we want. There was so many great opportunities from both teams going after and competing for the ball.
It was like
that is something they need to tweak the rule.
It was like Michael Jordan going for a dunk and Charles Barkley trying to block him. It was just like, he's still going up. Barkley's on his way down. You know what I mean? It just didn't. You just can't help how Coates can just jump like that. I'm not saying Ty's got no springs. He's got it, but the timing was off a little bit. He just didn't time it well. It's just it's a natural sort of thing to do. You just grab on when you're going down. It's a safety thing. So
it's self-preservation, isn't it?
Exactly. It's just a natural thing that you do. You're like, if he grabbed him, threw him off his line, grabbed his hands, and did something like that, send him. Penalty try. No, penalty try.
Agreed. Yeah, so if he's in the air, they're wrestling for it, and then while he's doing that, he rips the ball out and tries to throw him.
And his feet are already on the ground. If he's already planted and then he's playing at the ball, playing at his hands, because and you've got to take into account how good Coates is in the air. He scores that try.
Well, that's the reason they put him on that side.
If To'o really played a bad foul, but I don't think he did. I think he was doing what he had to do.
What about the kicking, mate? So we've got a message here that come from our YouTube from last episode, but it must have been straight after the game. Chaps, love the podcast and keep up the great work. He's a listener from UK. He's a massive Raiders fan. Question is, he was watching the State of Origin this morning over their time, and apparently Joey was talking about it after the game in the post-match interviews about the ball sounding different. And then Freddie even mentioned he wasn't allowed to touch the game balls, or even the ball boys didn't allow him to get close to them. And he's wondering if there's anything to do with the misconversion. So for those who weren't aware, I'm sure everyone is aware, Nathan was 1 from 4, the best kicker in the game, 91% kicker. His last kick was his worst kick out of all of them too, by the way. And then he also missed a field goal. Val hits a sweet ball. Now, to be fair to Val, he hit the penalty goal, which was a doozy from the sideline to make it 2 points. Yeah. But then he shanked the second one. And Lomax, he's 10 metres to the right side of the post, and he's just completely hooked it. What happened with the kicking?
That's like me trying to have a crack at it, what Lomax did. I'm just trying to kick and hope. These guys are professional kickers. They're the best in their positions, you know. Like, you got Critter, you got Zach Lomax, you got Cleary. They are all sharpshooters, right? And I was like, I just did a Channel 7 thing just then. I went, what's up with the balls? I said, something's up, because I heard Freddie say something. I heard Joey say something. And I've never seen Cleary hit him worse. He is a sharp shooter. He doesn't hit him as sweet as an Osako or even a Val Holmes, but he don't miss like that. No, he doesn't miss like that. He darts it, and they don't. And if he misses it, he just misses it. He doesn't miss by like 5 meters. One of those ones were. Then Zach Lomax, I was thinking, yes, 20-6, done. I'm like 18-6, two tries they got to convert in 6 minutes, something like that. I'm like, wow, they've still got hope because of our kicking. We've got the best kickers in the whole game in New South Wales.
So here's a question for you. This is
something.
what
Sorry, is it? They are obviously new balls. What they make for Origin, they're not like the club that I know they're Steeden, right? I know they're Steeden, but they've just been blown up and made a couple of weeks ago, probably.
Potentially, yeah.
Hey, I need those balls. If I'm the coaches, I need those balls. I need game balls at training all
for
week.
10 days.
For 10 days, I need them because I don't want the ball handling and everything was fine, but the kicking game is so important. And they weren't even strikers. Some of Munster's kicks, I was going, what the fuck was that? You know what I mean? Munster puts up these beautiful torpedoes. There was one in the second half. He just hit it, just went end over end.
Bit of a pop gun.
I think all these, you're talking about the best, sweetest kickers in the game. Cleary, Moses, right?
Even
Harry Grant's fucking first kick. What are you doing,
that
Harry?
was a shocker. That was a shocker.
But that could have been the ball as well. I know what he was meant to do. Try to get it up. Probably try to get another 5 meters on that so Coach can get through and jump over him. He didn't have time because he shanked it. There's something wrong with the balls. Get on top of it, V'landys.
PVL, there we go. Shout out from Mace.
Mate, you've got to get it.
There was clearly a game plan to kick to Coates. That's why they changed him on that side. Ches gets tackled on the last tackle. We'll get to Harry's performance to start the game as well, and Ches and Money and everyone. But I think he forced that. That was just a bad kick. It was a bad option. He did it from dummy half. The marker just got at him straight away and he shanked it. So
but I just say with you, normally he doesn't. It's like you can. I know Origin pressure, but only I put that as a shank because that was the first kick. I'm like, well, here you go. Shank, and then I went. All the best kickers are out there, and they're all shanking them. They're not putting up beautiful kicks. They were just wobbly sort of things, and that's what Harry Grant did. He usually, I know exactly what he do. He had the ball placement perfect. He hit it, and it just went, did what it wanted to. They got to do something with that, mate. It could cost the game. Could have cost us the game last night.
Nate said after the game, he was chatting to Joey, and he said. Joey asked him what was going on. Did you just fuck up? Like what was going through? Was there anything doing with the balls? And he said he had played out this game so much in his head in the last, 18 months after missing last year's series that he was thinking about all these different scenarios. And then when it come to kicking, his head wasn't locked in. To be fair, I love Nath. This is what makes Nath great, the full accountability and stuff. But I hated for New South Wales, for Nath, that he gave up the kicking tee. I would have been like, Nath,
stay there.
Mate, you fucking, because it's like, even though I don't anticipate it being a close series, I thought New South Wales was so much better in the sense where, not that the games are not going to be close, but I think there's New South Wales are marginally better, and I'm confident that they're going to win this series because I don't think Queensland can win 2 in a row. Nathan's got to take that kick in the second half because you got to right the wrongs. Like you're the best kicker in the game statistically, and you've got I know you're going from a 91% kicker to an 88% kicker, and Mitch can kick and Latrell can kick and Critter can kick, but Nathan, you're the dude. You're the dude.
Man. You're our man.
Take the kick. So
I'm with that as well. What do you think about another thing? I was when I was having a little bit of a chat with Seven, I was like, I looked at Tino Fa'asuamale'ali before the game, and he was highly emotional. You know what I mean? And
Billy addressed that.
He was highly emotional because, as you know, coming back from injury, people sort of going, is he going to be the same player? Is he this questionable, this, that? And he's like, and it would have meant a lot to him getting back on that big stage. That would work 15 years ago when you could go out there and fucking take someone's head off and punch on and do all that old school shit, right? In today's game, it doesn't work. Just that little bit over the top, on the third or fourth tackle, really let New South Wales off the leash. You know what I mean? A couple of times coming out of yardage, easy, and then get a good field position. Then Queensland had to come out. Like I just would give advice, like you can use that emotion to a power, right, to a certain extent.
Yep.
But in today's game, you can't because you cost your team penalties. And a penalty, is crucial. A penalty is on the third or fourth tackle coming out of yardage. He just wanted to kill someone. He did. Yeah. You could see that in him. He's cut from that cloth. He wanted to really impose his will on every single forward. Anyone he got, he just wanted to rip their heads off. Sometimes, you just got to, those emotions, you got to use it in a different way in today's game.
But you know what I hate, Mace, is that's what you anticipated from him, and that's what you expected from him, and
yeah,
that's what I expected from him. And I hated the way that Ashley Klein
those penalties
officiated this game. I reckon we were talking about this in coverage, and I'm with two Blues because it's supposed to be a neutral call for us at SEM, but I'm with Jimmy Smith. He's a proud Blue. Timmy Manor had 4 Origin games, and even they were saying, geez, there's like 5 50-50s in this game, and all of them had gone to the Blues. And then they were able to build momentum and fatigue set into the game. And a couple of those plays where, you know, Tino's roughing them up a little bit, but fucking Latrell was doing it for and this by no means am I going, Latrell, don't do it. I expect Latrell to do it.
Yeah.
So I expect Tino to rough these players up. I thought there were a couple of leg outs early on in that game.
Yeah, because of Tino, like I'm just saying, I want Tino to do this. Like the ref just needs to go, it's fucking Origin, mate. You know what I mean? It's not like he's holding him down for like 6 seconds. All he is roughing him up, he's got his hands in, he's got his elbows in there, got his head in there. I expect that. But if the refs are going to do that, be consistent. Because I saw Latrell, you know, like just come in and just do Latrell things. And you know what I mean? Like I was like, everyone was doing their own little thing, but like, that's so important. Coming like those penalties, I don't give a fuck if it's on the first tackle, you know, because no one cares about the first tackle. When it's on the 3rd and 4th, you care, and then they kick, and then you're defending your line. Then you got to try and come off your line. It hurts, and it takes a lot of oil out, a lot of petrol out of the gas.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want Tino to downplay that sort of emotion and not play with that, because that's what makes Tino that. But if the refs are going to be like that for all 3 games, just be consistent.
Yeah, I find it. I still think it's crazy that Ashley Klein is still in the top game. So he's nowhere near the best referee. And then even Chris Butler is the video referee. It's like it blows me away how they get games. And as a guy that's supports Queensland, because I go for a couple of my mates that play for Queensland, mate. I'm completely neutral. I love the game. I love the spectacle, and I just and there's by no means am I blaming the referee, because I still think New South Wales is the better team. That they just didn't. It just doesn't help the opportunities for Queensland.
You know how hard. I mean, we never played in the 6 to go rule, right?
Yeah,
we never did. And I'm like, that would just burn you as like a middle. You know what I mean? You know, you got your big dog out there, your alpha dog going at Payne Haas, going at all these guys. You know what I mean? And then the 3rd or 4th tackle, bang, penalty. When they're on their 40, next minute you're defending your line, and you know how hard it is to get out of your own area, because in an Origin game they're just fucking rushing up, and you get stuck there. Then you lose the battle of the field position. And that's why Queensland were on the back foot. Because of those early penalties, Queensland were on the back foot for about 25 minutes. They couldn't get out of yardage and get into good field position because of those 2 or 3 penalties. And they weren't warranted. If that was fucking dropping an elbow on his head or just doing some real fucking crazy shit, I get it. Penalised. But if it's just little fucking hands in the face and like
little
just
facial
petty bullshit, let it go. You know what I mean? Like if you drop an elbow or head, get your head in there or something like that, shoulder charge into it, penalise. Anything other than that, you let it go. You know there's different rules for Origin.
For sure.
Not that. And that's what I'm saying. It gassed Queensland.
Yep. You spoke about field position. So let's get to the players. And we're going to start off, and I'm going to go on position. So let's kick it off with Dylan Edwards. I thought this best summarised why Dylan Edwards is the perfect person for specifically the combination and the doubts that anyone had around Nathan Cleary and Isaiah Yeo and the Penrith style footy. Dylan just matches them so much. And I know it's obvious because he plays it with them at Penrith, and Teddy's form was outstanding, but he doesn't overcomplicate it, Mace. He just plays his role perfectly, and he returns the ball. It's all about field position for him. He doesn't get in the way when they're in good ball, and they stick to a plan when Dill plays with Nathan and Yowie.
Yeah, I think I thought he was outstanding. And the last try just sort of sealed it. He's an unsung hero in a team full of superstars. He's not the loudest person. He's not that. He's not Latrell. He's not Toto. He's not Critter. He ain't got that swag. You know what I mean? Like he's a cool dude, but like he's not those guys. Like he's just a humble player who's worked his ass off and deserves everything he gets. And I thought he was one of our best. He's never out of position. Ever. You'll never catch him out of position. But he doesn't have the fancy sort of, Walsh and Ponga and all that sort of stuff. But fuck, he'd be one of my first picks if I was going to pick the first 17.
You know the best thing about Dylan Edwards? He's better suited when the game's close and the stakes get higher too.
Yeah.
Because he plays a high percentage of footy. He's always positionally in the right spot. And defensively, you know what it's like, Mace. Defense wins games, big games. and he makes sure, like, there was the alignment of New South Wales was never out of whack. They never looked like they were stressed at all.
100%. The line prep, I don't think people at home understand when there's a quick play the ball right on the line and you need your middles to separate quickly because you got guys, just say there's two guys, Tino and Cotter, hitting the same hole. You need your markers to be split. And then your A and B is so important for their width, for the C-man, and then the 4-man to hold the post. And he gets that all done. Whilst I watch, I see how he's talking and just getting everybody out, holding the markers in. A gets out a little bit, and then B gets out a little bit. He's telling those guys exactly where to be. Obviously, at this level, they all should know where to be. But because things are happening so quick, Harry Grant's really tricky. You got Tino hitting those holes. You got Carrigan doing the same thing. He gets all these guys in perfect position to make those tackles. So they didn't really look like busting our line, hitting the front lines or hitting the front guys or anything like that because our line prep was so good.
Yeah.
And that's
two guys that
Edward.
really helped him out, and I think is a huge reason why just New South Wales were on the front foot the entire game. In my opinion, Zach Lomax was my player of the match. And Brian Toto was awesome. The two wingers, over a couple of 100 meters each.
200 each.
Toto, these are the numbers we got.
Give me the official ones. I just got ones off the NRL app.
Yeah, so there's NRL and there's Fox, and I believe these are the ones from the Fox.
I trust your ones.
Brian Toto, despite being off the field for 10 minutes, still got 21 for 200. Zach Lomax had 22 for 177, 2 tries, a huge contested catch, comes down with the ball, finds Connor Watson, who finds Dylan Edwards, which sealed the game.
Yeah.
And this is one thing I don't think maybe not everyone noticed, and this is why I love him. So he's the right side winger, right? They made the adjustment when Bizza went off to go and assist Zach Lomax because probably Stephen Crichton's got better lateral movements than Latrell.
Yeah.
So they said, all right, we'll leave Critter over there by himself. He goes over on the left. When Bizza come back on, he went to the right. But Kalen Ponga is a left foot kicker. So they're down by 12 after the Dylan Edwards try. He misses the kick, right? So that could have made it 14. Instead of sulking or being a bit down or shrinking away from it, Mace, he goes over to the other side of the field to defuse the catch off the kickoff from the short kickoff from Kalen Ponga. He wants to be in the big moments, mate, and he's absolutely thriving in this arena.
I love him, mate. Both those wingers. Toto was under an injury cloud, right? Hamstring. It took him a while to warm into it. I was worried at the start. You know what I mean? He wasn't as powerful, and then he must have just obviously got more reps, more confidence and stuff like that. So, yeah, he got warm, and then he looked good. Zach Lomax. Who got man of the match? I was already out of there.
Payne got it.
Payne got it. Well deserved, but Zach Lomax deserved it. Zach Lomax Payne Haas was our best forward. Zach Lomax was our best player.
Yep.
I thought so. And I mean, it's always hard with the selectors to give wingers man of the matches, mate. I know what it is. If he had 3 on his back, he'd probably fucking get it.
Well, that's
Do you know what I
why
mean?
he wants to play in the centres, right?
That's probably why he wants centres. So he wants more men in the matches. That's it.
Yeah.
I get you now. Yeah, I thought they were both outstanding, come out of yardage. Dylan Edwards does his own thing. He finds little gaps in the defence, finds his front pretty well most of the time. And then those two just go off the back of it. Latrell, because Latrell's not going to give you 20 hit-ups from the centres.
No.
He's going to give you 10 to 12 quality touches, right? And even Critter played outstanding as well. I thought, he was under an injury cloud. He was defensively outstanding, his movements. And then, just to get through the game, all of them, which is great because they're all under injury cloud. I was worried one of them weren't going to make because of soft tissue injury. I was just thinking, the game's so quick and it's so powerful, and you've got to be, it's all right when you're just running reps and everything like that. You got Tyler's got to have 3 blokes hanging off him all the time. So does Payne Haas and so does Critter, and he's got to be able to move. And Hammer's the one who can move. So he took care of all of it. All 3 of those guys, outstanding.
Well,
but the back 2, unreal.
The chat was Stephen Crichton apparently told family. This is just rumours and origin folklore and all that stuff. Apparently, Stephen Crichton told family in the morning of that he was not going to play. That's how much he's toughed it out. So let's get to the centres. Latrell Mitchell, Stephen Crichton, offensively didn't have huge numbers. Defensively, great in different ways. Yeah. Latrell absolutely bullied anyone on the right edge of Queensland whenever he got a chance. Picked him up, manhandled him, little push in the face, a little elbow, a little Latrell, he always pushes out, and he did a great job, and he really intimidated, even though they did have Joy at times, they had a couple of little half breaks. He quickly shut it down.
Yeah.
And then Stephen Crichton, like I said, once Bizza went off the field, they lose Zach, and there were a number of sort of half chances that Stephen Crichton sort of just got up and shut it down before it even eventuated. And both of them coming up with 2 beautiful try assists, really underrated in different ways. Trell, quick pass, tip on.
Yeah.
Stephen Crichton, the ability to sum it all up with 3 or 4 Queenslanders around him.
100%.
Tuck it under his shoulder, put it back out, and then find Zach Lomax.
He made that look easy. Most
That's
would have
really hard.
Most would have shit themselves and passed it to Zach straight away.
Early.
They would have went bang, bang. He tucks it, moves a little bit. Oh, I can find a few more meters, and then bang, straight on the chest. Latrell, to flick that, he had no base. His legs are in the air. He went boom, boom. That's all wrist control, kids, if you want to learn that. And that's how he throws one of the best balls in the game out of everyone, mate. His skill set is high. That's the quality touches that you need. He just bullies you. I think Toya was outstanding. We'll get to him.
Yep.
But like what Latrell did, he just did Origin Latrell. He just goes to another level. He did what he had to do. He set the tries up. As soon as they got down there, you're just trying to isolate him man on man. He knows that coach comes up and in because that's the Melbourne system. Don't do that to Latrell, mate. He'll skin you like, he could have, Xavier coach, if he had his time again, he would have trusted Toya because he need to come in and slam him there.
So, I don't know, Mace.
Yeah.
I think it was the right play. It was just a better play by Latrell. Yeah. Anyone else, Mace? Anyone else but Latrell and maybe Stephen Crichton don't make that pass. They just don't get it out in time.
They don't. No. But I was just thinking if they just trusted Toya and to make his tackle.
Yeah.
You know, like you just got to trust the kid, you know what I mean? Because I know what everyone knows what Latrell can do. You give him half this little second, he's just going like that. Right on. And you've got to give business some credit too. The timing, right?
Yeah.
Right. Wasn't in front, wasn't behind him. Just there, just bang, and then straight to the corner. So outstanding. Our centers were good. Critter was great. Latrell was good. And they're just tough. Yeah. If anyone had any doubts, which no one did, like that is tough to get through that. Crazy.
Going into it.
In a couple of weeks, carrying it with the Dogs.
Yes. So carrying the groin injury. It feels like for 12 months he's been carrying the shoulder sort of neck injury that he looked like he re-aggravated during the game. And then that Dwight York was fully padded up from his scrimmage against the winner Manly. And there was a moment early on in the game where he put it completely to the test where he got some early ball. He dropped the bumpers straight into Hammer. He bumped it again into Cam Munster and then sort of got a penalty off the back of it. And I went, well, if he did have a cork, it's going to be feeling pretty sore right now. And that was like 15 minutes into the game. They're
very underrated corks. 2007, I played with one for the whole series. I didn't play any club football.
Oh,
my whole right leg was black. It was right on the ITB, and it got hit 3 times in a row, all in the Origins. So leading up to it, I think I got hit by Petro and Tunza, Tony Carroll against Brisbane, smashed it right there. I was like, fuck me. And then so I had my whole right quad. It was right in the middle of it. Your ITBs, you try.
Yeah.
I couldn't touch it. It was black, and everyone was. And back, you get caught. Meow from all the guys because I couldn't play club football, but I was playing Origin because it's 2 weeks you need it off. I couldn't play. I'd try and play, bang, get hit again.
Back, re-aggravate it.
Yeah, re-aggravate it. So 3 times, and it's all right to get hit. I got hit on the same spot 3 times in a row. So when you do your body composition, it shows you the structure of your legs and your bones and that. There's a little bone sticking out on my right leg, and I'm like, that was the cork. It's calcified and just stuck out. It's like the most underrated, but back then you just got called a pussy. Missed the training session. If you miss a training session with the cork, you're a pussy. Guys like Marco Mealy and all these blokes go, not playing it, and all they did was play Origin.
We call you the triple OG, but the quadruple OGs, they ain't let you get away with missing a game.
Not a thing. Not for and I was so embarrassed. I'm like, I couldn't run. I couldn't do anything. And I think that's what's going to happen with Critter. Critter might, depends what sort of Critter you want. I could get away with playing in the middle, right? But he needs that. He needs those movements. And his movements are outstanding. Because he got Hammer. Hammer's the quickest guy in the whole game. You wouldn't even thought he played.
Mate, he shut Hammer down and get like any little half chance shut down. Stephen Crichton, no one would be loving bye week more than Stephen Crichton right now.
He's very lucky that he's got the Marcus.
I think Cam Serrato, when he gets back to Bulldogs training, he's just going to be living in the ice bath and he's going to be living in the sauna for the next whole week at
Normatex, ice, compress, everything. That's all you got to do. That's it. It's crazy.
What a performance, and what a performance by the two halves in probably not the way that a lot of people would have expected. Let's start with Mitch and we'll get to Nath. Straight away, I knew Mitch was on. He took a carry in the middle of the field about 6 or 7 minutes into the game
like that.
And got absolutely limped by Mo Fodawaker into Tino Fasul-Malahali. The two front rowers, Mace. And again, we talk about the toughness. We talk about the development. We talk about the maturity. He fully understood that Nathan was the guy and his job was to run and set the tone. And I thought Mitch did that. And he just played that role, played the Robin perfectly with Nathan all game.
Yeah, I thought he did as well. I think, everyone's going, how's it going to go? How's it going? What's it going to look like if it goes shit, this and that? I never look at it. I'm a glass half full, man. I just think Nath took control. He was outstanding, Nath. If a couple of little things come off, he would have been close to man of the match. But it just didn't. It wasn't a halves game. It was dominated by a forwards game. That's probably why Payne Haas got man of the match, right? Because he dominated the middle from the start to the finish. And but Moses, he got his kicks in. He did what he could do. Like, he played to the defence, right? I mean, you're talking about Origin, talking about the best defenders in the game. They're going to shut him down, like we shut their halves down. Cleary did his thing. They got to the kicks. They did everything that they could possibly do to get us over the line. I can't complain with that combination. Everybody wanted to see it go shit, so they could sit here today and bag the hell out of them.
Yeah, what did I say before the game, mate? Like, as much as people think about the key positions, they always think about spine plays in Origin. It's not the case. It's one in the middle. Both Mitch and Nathan, in the second half, when the game was sort of in the balance, would love to have a couple of kicks back.
Yeah.
But in saying that, to get through this game and sort of win comfortably in the sense where they played so much better, the scoreline doesn't reflect it, and now they go into Perth with 10 days worth of combinations and knowing that they've got the monkey off the back of doing what Mitch and Jerome did in Suncorp last year is huge for their combination moving forward.
Massive. Even I said, nobody is scared of playing at Suncorp anymore. And you could see that, the crowd didn't overwhelm anyone. Like
they
Max
loved
King
the occasion, didn't they?
They loved the occasion because, like when you're in an era where you don't ever win at a ground, it starts to really play on you. And I was part of that era as well, right? You just only won one game at Suncorp. It's crazy, right? And you just go, that whole 2010s team won hardly any games at Suncorp, right? Especially in the last couple of games. We've won 3 in a row. 3 in a row. Crazy. We don't really care. And they're big games, right? The one before was the one to get to even it up. And then last year was to clear to take the series. And this one now to take 1-0 up at Suncorp. It's going to be hard for Queensland to get back. One game.
You know what? Anything when you start going on a streak becomes a mental battle. So that mental side of things when New South Wales would go up there would be, a bit of a juggernaut for players. Now you've completely removed that. Now it becomes a pain in the ass for Queensland because now they've got to rectify the record at Suncorp. So that's going to be intriguing watching that move forward in the next couple of years and whether Queensland are able to pull that back. All right, let's get to the player of the match, Payne Haas. You said he was the best forward, but geez, my man Mitchy Barnett, and I threw him out as a smoky at the start of the day. His first 25 minutes were excellent, and then he got a spell, but Payne just kept on chugging along. They really set the tone for New South Wales in the middle. And, just what we expected from both of those two guys.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought Payne led from the front. He didn't care who was in front of him. Mitchy Barnett wasn't far behind. He just didn't get as many minutes to showcase it. He only got the last sort of 15 minutes. He got the first maybe 20.
25.
It is. So
Yep.
he didn't really get many minutes. Payne got at least 55, 60 minutes and if you give him that many times to get the ball, he's going to dominate through the middle. He's going to get those runs in. He's going to get momentum, some offloads. His defense was outstanding. His leadership, he had to go up against Tino. Tino's his nemesis, right? Tino's always been going at him. And I think he got that battle. I think he won that battle where, Tino's going to get his get back in Perth. He's going to try and get that. But I think Payne Haas is in for a series where he, I know we talk about Nathan Cleary trying to, really stamp his foot in the Origin arena, which I sort of think he has, where I don't think Payne has completely. Last year he did, but this year, if he's get man of the match now, he'd be going over to Perth. He could get that Wally Lewis. He could.
Ooh,
and I've been backing him. I've been backing Payne Haas for the Wally Lewis for the last 3 years.
You've been backing him for man of the matches and the Wally Lewis medal.
Man of the matches and everything. I just went, oh, fuck it, don't. Cleary will get him.
You go to Cleary and then he gets the player of the match on you.
God.
Oh.
He was outstanding. You see, just the power in his runs. Fuck,
well,
it's hard to put him on his back.
It was like this. It was Tino and Payne and the middles and Chuck Mofodawaker and Mitchie Barnett into that. But then we'll get to that. The difference is Queensland hit a wall. There wasn't Calvary coming off the bench to help them in the manner that, which we'll get to with the New South Wales bench. But then Payne withstood it and then kept on pushing with the help of the bench to come off the bench. So
the bench, our bench was outstanding.
Even though, I was in the Zach Lomax player of the match camp, for sure, Payne Haas was top 3, and I'll get to who my number 2 was actually in a little bit. Let's go with Reece Robson. Rock solid. I think he was only really given a spell because they wanted to get Connor Watson on the field. Yeah. Otherwise, Reece Robson was looking good. He was looking strong. He got out and ran nice and early. And you know how we always because we've seen Penrith play so many big games, we just we love the way Mitch Kenny plays. Reece Robson's as tough as any hooker in the game
mate.
too. He will lick you. He will lick you if you run straight at him.
Yeah.
And he is a premier 9, and he's just, there's so many stars on both teams. There's always guys that you just shit, he was awesome.
Yeah, he does. And he'll probably play 10 plus Origins. Yeah. And everyone's going to go, oh yeah, he was part of that. We'll probably hopefully win, about 2 or 3 series in a row, and he'll be part of it all. And he'll be the linchpin of that middle. He just does all the dirty shit that no one wants to do. He just cleans up everything. He all these little detail, the marker detail, the fucking inside hunt from A, B, kick pressure, all these little things that he does. He does it the best. He's unreal at it. He just with a smile on his face and doesn't want to do interviews, doesn't really give a shit, just gets it done. I love it.
He's similar to Dylan at fullback, where he doesn't overcomplicate it, and you don't need to. When you've got Isaiah Yeo, Nathan Cleary, and Mitch Moses, there's enough footy in there. Good, nice, perfect balls out in front, good deliveries, make your tackles, do the 1%ers. You don't need the creative Harry Grant on the opposite side to create ruck momentum. Just give it to the big boy straight off the deck. Take one step, bang, give it to him. And he does that, and he does it a really good job.
And that's all communication with the 9s to the middles, right? It's how Yowie wants the ball. See how Yowie toughed it out last night. We'll get to Yowie in a minute, but early ball, then I'll do my thing. Payne Haas, take the markers, do that. That's all communication with a good 9, and that's your 9 knowing how your big boys want the ball.
All right, let's get to the back rowers. I thought the physicality and energy of Liam Martin, he was just trying to bash everyone. And
kick chase is outstanding.
Not only, there were a number of people that had their question marks on Angus Crichton's form at the start of the year. Was he replicating the form at Sydney Roosters that he did last year? Well, he's replicated his Origin form because he was excellent. He was another player I thought was outstanding. And the 2 back rowers, mate, you don't need to take them off. They're 80-minute back rowers. That's why I don't really like the idea of having an edge back row on the bench, because these 2, unless it's an injury, and you can plan about that in other ways.
How did he come on in the middle, didn't he? Or did he replace one of them? Yeah, and he was outstanding as well. He was very, we'll get to him soon. But our back rows are really good. Liam Martin just fucking dog. Doesn't stop. The kick chase, the relentless pressure, they're just in your face, just does not care, just doesn't want to give an inch to anybody, right? And Crichton was the same. Crichton was back to what he was doing last year at that arena. Everybody was sort of questionable. I think he was a little bit injured at the start. I can't put any, like, he was just toughing it out. He just might have had a shoulder injury or a groin injury or something like that. He just wouldn't know.
Yeah, I was trying to tell you this at the start of the year. I just think, they lost so many players. You know, you lose Jared, you lose Joseph Manu, you lose Joseph Swaliti. So he went from a real luxury piece at Sydney Roosters to now you're the dude. Like, it's you, Rads, and Teddy. This is your team. Yeah. And it took a while to get going, but now the youngsters have picked up around him. And once you place him into the New South Wales team, then he becomes a beautiful luxury piece again, because he doesn't have to do everything that he does at Roosters. Carry the ball strong, defend strong, and then just punch holes inside and outside Daly Cherry Evans.
Yeah, that's it. That's all he did. And that's all he did last year. And that's all he did for the last couple of years with the Roosters, because he did have a lot of luxury pieces with him. You know, now he's that guy. Now he's probably getting 3, you can see this year, 3 and 4 into Crichton all the time. He's not Superman. He just needs to start getting one-on-ones, and he can do what he does. He looks fit. He looks strong. He was pretty close to man of the match as well. He was top 5 player.
Yep. He's another player for me anyway. Isaiah Yeo, fit, strong.
God.
There was always the concern for a lot of people about the Penrith style of play and how Isaiah Yeo plays a dink and dunk style of play at club level. He's completely changed that narrative. Credit to, I don't know if it was Madge, whether it was Joey, whether it was Jakey Dravojevic starting, or Cameron Murray, watching Cameron Murray do it last year in the series. He doesn't play that style at Origin anymore.
No,
he's completely changed it. He changed the narrative last year as a bench player. And for me, he's already done it in one game. He knows exactly what his role is now at Origin, and that's get forward. And then the joy will come at the back end, but you don't need to play that expansive style that they play through the middle at Penrith.
Well, he got hammered the year before when we lost the series. Do you remember that? I think 2022, was it? When Ben Hunt did that intercept and...
The 23.
23, when he was trying to ball play like he was trying to play Penrith. And I think someone's had a word to him going, look, you're 6'4" and 110 kilos. You get lion's share of the ball. Run, you can pass, you can do whatever you want, but mainly play big. Play big. You're a big man. Play strong. You run good lines. You got great leg speed. Fuck passing. Don't have to do this pre-line pass stuff unless it's like in a play, right? But other than that, between the middle third, Yowie, just do your thing, mate. And he's got great leg speed. He's got great skill, good late footwork. That's all we want. Beautiful. Yeah. Exactly what we want. Exactly, mate. But this is exactly what we want from Yowie. The last couple of years, he's been one of our best. He's captain. He's fucking outstanding. That's a good captain's knock. Great captain's knock, mate. Well done.
Yeah. Let's get to the bench. And Connor sort of he come up with a huge moment. He only got sort of scrappy minutes at the back end because I felt like Laurie just wanted to force and get him on. Like I said, I reckon they could have easily
I think Laurie's up there. He's got, fuck, did we pick Connor Watson? Shit, we picked Connor Watson. He's fucking get him on.
Well, that's the beauty of Connor. And we know him well. We know he's a good human. We know he's team first. He's purely in that squad to cover everything that goes wrong, but he's not going to whinge. Mate, Connor, I'm telling you, he's the type of person, even if he didn't get on, for sure he'd be disappointed, but winning is the most important thing. And to have a luxury of a player like that, team first on the bench.
And he did influence the influence on winning.
He did have he come up with a moment.
Fucking, that was a great offload. He had 3 on him. Tight little squeeze, got it out the back there. Little layup. And then Dylan Edwards on the back of that. Beautiful. Game over.
Yep. Only short stints from both Spencer Leniu and Hudson Young. Let's start off with Spencer. Great all of the chat. And I seen actually Maddie and Cooper talking about this morning when I was on socials just watching some content. Yeah. And Maddie brought up the psychological battle of, and I noticed it straight away, and I know you would have noticed it straight away.
I love it.
Spenny was doing, come on, and then he's seen them lining up to kick away from him when they'd been kicking to that side.
He liked that
He wanted the ball, and Matty said psychologically he didn't like it from Queensland. Kick to him at Suncorp, go there and bash him.
No, 100%. You fucking kick it to Spencer. You're shit scared because of what he did to Max King the week before. That's a win for us. That's a win for him anyway. You're like, fuck, you don't even have the balls to kick it to me. I remember being in a position like with Spencer.
Yeah.
I said some shit, right? In 2000, I think it was 2008. Someone sent me the article. I think I called him redneck nutbags.
Yeah.
So, so we won game one. It was 08.
Yep.
So, I go, what do you expecting? I'll talk, and I said, I don't know, just, your typical 60,000, screaming redneck nutbags, just booing the shit out of us,
I
drinking
remember
Bundy
that.
rum, Bundy rum.
Yep.
Tongue in cheek, thought nothing of it. They didn't print it. They didn't do anything, Hoz. I woke up Wednesday morning, fucking front page. Mason calls Queensland nutbag rednecks. It was fucking crazy.
Have you got it? So Lukey, sorry mate, Lukey's showing me the article behind
it was
the
outstanding
laptop.
because I looked at it. I was just like, oh, wow, he's copping the same shit as me. But it was like, it's good. It just makes you play better. It was awesome. But I mean, like, they always try and make someone public enemy number one. And, because JT's such a god up there and he disrespected JT and they think they're going to get at him. But you can't get under a bloke's skin like that.
Yeah, but that's my point, and I think that's Matty's point. They call him a grub in the lead up, which I think people
didn't do anything about it.
I think, even if it's Journo saying it, whatever, it's 6 again. Like, I know, mate, Mace, me and you have played, and I never played to that level or never really got caught out. But if someone called me a grub, like, it's not the worst thing you can call anyone. Anyway, but let's go. We're at Suncorp.
I was fucking shocked. Kick it to him so we can at least, I thought that wasn't a good thing for Queensland, man. It wasn't a good look because you call him out, you call him a grub, exactly what you were saying. And I just say with me, I started the game, right? And it was fucking on from the kickoff. It was on and we got fucking pumped. That's when GI threw Zap Turner over in the fucking breaches. That was that game.
Okay. Yeah,
and then I walked off, right? And it was one of the greatest shots of all time. Mason, you fuckwit. So I got booed the whole time. This is the first time I didn't really want to come off. Every hit up, and it was consistent, very consistent. So I walk off, Mason, you fuck, someone threw something, and it was the best shot. So just say this is a plastic Bundy rum. I hate Bundy rum. Hit me on the head like that, and then just drip down the front of my fucking jersey. You fucking wake up. Queensland rule. All I hear is that. Boom, hit me in the head. And then I taste it, went, oh, fucking Bundy rum. So I'm walking of all fucking drinks, Bundy rum. I was like, oh, God, the jersey was all fucking wrecked. I was like, oh. And you just sit there just going, wow, that really backflipped.
You know what? Good. Speaking of the backflip, now whenever we're around Suncorp, life after footy, profile after footy, now Queenslanders are, Mace, and shouting your Bundy rums as you're walking up the street.
Yeah, it's a good dance. It's all good, mate. It's but that was, I thought I wanted that. I wanted that moment for Spencer and I wanted the moment for Queensland and Suncorp. And it was disappointing. When are you going to get it? When are you going to get it for Origin? Yeah. I don't give a shit if someone gets knocked out. It is what it is. You called him out. Obviously, it's fucking because of journos or whatever. I don't think it was from any player. And
it was a journo. But still.
But it doesn't matter. Like, you call to arms, right? Bang, kick it to him. Let's go at him.
Let's go.
I can kick it the other way. I was like, yuck.
He was the first. He was the first to get on to the bench, but I left him purposely left him for last because I thought he was excellent. There was a whole lot of chat, and he wasn't in my best 17 team. And people were putting words or throwing out stuff that I never, not once said Max King didn't deserve it, but I just said Terrell May would have been a part of my team. Now that that's all done,
just your opinion.
That doesn't matter at all because Max King is now an Origin player because he's played his game. He's at Suncorp, and mate, he was excellent off the bench.
Didn't look out of place, did he? Didn't look out of place. Yep. Fucking ran the ball hard, worked hard in defence, detail, everything. Didn't look off the pace. Everyone thought that, like he wasn't gonna be suited to Origin. He fucking suits Origin. He suits it. Plays big minutes, unassuming. He'll get you 100 metres. You get your 30 tackles, 0 misses. Very effective. Like, he's just like that. If you start him, he's going to do exactly the same thing at any level. So very proud of Max King, mate. He's come a very long way. Now he can sort of call himself an Origin player. Hopefully, there's no doubt that he's going to get picked in game 2 and he can win a series, mate. It'd be great.
Here we go. Here's a comp for you. When I was watching the game and I was thinking about, like, you don't necessarily need star players across the board when you've got a really good starting lineup. Not to say he's not a star player, but you need guys that sort of fit the
best role player.
Role players, don't overcomplicate it. He reminds me a bit of Jacob Lillyman for the Queensland team back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Lillyman would do a bit of a job
And
for him off
fucking
the bench.
proper.
You know what I mean?
That's a good comp.
Yeah,
Lillyman he was fucking good, Jacob Lillyman.
Jacob Lillyman comes off the bench. He's going to give you, or you could start him at a pinch.
Start him, yeah.
He's going to give you 10 to 15 carries for about 120, 130 metres, clean defensively, not miss many tackles, and work his backside off.
It's a great comp.
And that's what I was sort of looking at for Max King, thinking,
King's just a little bit tall. Lillyman's a nugget.
Maybe a little bit stocky.
I remember running at him, mate. He was one of those guys. A little bit of footwork with him. Fucking great hitter for 6'5" people.
So congrats to Max King.
Max King, mate. Outstanding.
Let's just go a little bit more in depth into Hudson Young.
No, I didn't.
He come on. You could tell he was, really worked up. He wanted to have an impact straight away. That's why I thought he looked a little bit flustered to begin with. He comes up with an error, but then he made up for it. Like he got to work his way into the game, and luckily the game played out the way it did.
Yeah,
because
that
if it doesn't,
to Crichton.
Yeah.
And I think the commentary said it perfect. I think it was Cam Smith. Some of these middles, and you get on a bit of a run, palm someone off, boom, boom. You think you're in the clear, bang, bang, bang. You just got to end it there.
Yep.
And if you're ever going to pass it, if you're a ball runner, and he's a great ball runner, it's through the line and it's like that. It's never turning around and give it to someone like that in a worse position. You never give it to someone in a worse position. Crichton was in a worse position. What the fuck was he supposed to do if he caught the ball? He just would have got tackled. He would have, I know, but like sometimes you just got to think like Huddy Young's all energy, he's all fucking front load. He's like a fucking Chocky Watt now, right?
Yeah.
he's like a Chocky Watt now. You just got to go Chocky, just run. If the offload's there late, have it there. But if not, just do your thing, mate.
That's a great comp because I don't want Chocky coming off the bench either.
I don't want Chocky. No.
I want Chocky to front load and get all that energy out of the game early, and then he'll get into a rhythm.
Run your tight lines behind the ruck. Huddy Young needs to do that because he's used to getting the ball too wide, right? So if he's going to come in the middle, use your leg speed, son. He's quick. He's very quick. Like Chocky was one of the underrated, one of the best forwards of our era of all time. Straight behind the ruck, mate. And he's got that mad left foot. So if he bangs on the right side of the ruck, he can come over, he can skip, he can do a lot of things. He can easily play lock. Easy. Yeah. He's got the skill set there. He's just got too many forwards down there, and he's a great left side back row. But he was outstanding. His energy, his defense, and I love the fact that he was the one who come up with that hit got the ball back. Huddy Young.
Yeah,
that's what you fucking love about it.
Also, you could tell, and you would have picked this up as well because we weren't together, the body language. So when he dropped that ball and come up with that offload, everyone was like, fuck. And then they realised that Hudson Young, he just got on, and then everyone went, you're all right. And they sort of tapped him on the head.
You got it, mate. You got it because the thing about Gus, when my first couple of series was coming off the bench, Gus is like, when you come on, don't go fucking mental, right? You've got to somehow, it's very hard, somehow get on the ball, get your first hit up. He goes, your first hit up should be whoever's been on the longest, give him a tip. Tip the ball onto him. So you slowly get into the game. The next run, maybe just so your first one, either a support play or you pass the ball to the bloke who's been on there for 25 minutes to get him in the game because he's only got probably another 5 minutes, or if he has to get to the half, right? Then you slowly get in. Then your third one, bang, just jam it in, or your second one. You know what I mean? So slowly get in.
Touch.
Don't fucking early touch with the ball in hand. So Connor Watson straight away, like bang, like hit him on the chest. Just fucking, you get flustered, mate, because the game's at a speed where you're not used to it. You can't emulate it at training. You can't train for it. You get put on, especially in the second half where Connor Watson, it's like going onto a treadmill going about 60K. Everybody's used to the game. You'll fucking come on for the last 15 minutes.
It hit him right in the Westpac sign.
I know. The Westpac. It's not big enough.
Right in the middle of the W.
Yeah, the big dub. Come on, mate. Got to catch those. Just soft hands. But because you're so much nervous energy, you watch the whole first half sitting on the bench. You can't keep it down like that. Connor Watson's an energizer bunny, mate. Huddy Young the same. And they both got on and they made mistakes, but then they made up for it. Connor Watson with that offload, Huddy Young with some beautiful tackles and some great runs at the end. So I thought they were outstanding, our bench. That's the fucking big difference in this game too.
Agreed. What about Connor Watson's best mate? Let's go to Queensland. Kalen Ponga. Looked frustrated at times at the back end of the game. It wasn't really a game for him because it was either being on the back foot through penalties or they just made some silly errors when they finally did get some opportunities. But even then, didn't feel like he capitalised enough. And we're going to talk about all the players as a whole. Sort of a meh game from Kalen. It's not like he wasn't trying, but it's not. He didn't really come up with anything, did he?
Didn't really have the opportunity to come up with anything because of our defence. It was very smothering. And even when he was going out the back and they were trying to play those, it was very pedestrian when they were playing anything out the back. They're either hitting the front guy or they were going out the back to Kalen. They were just switching out and then just hunting from the middle and they were really giving it to him every time he got the ball. He's not the biggest. You know what I mean? No. So when Latrell and that get a hold of you and Critter get a hold of you and our middles and Crichton and Liam Martin, like, dude, you're going to get hurt, because we want to get a hold of you. If you're a big man and you see Kalen Ponga carving up all the time in club football, you're like, can't wait to get my fucking hands on this kid. But you can't in club football because he's fucking so good.
He'll find a weakness.
He'll find a weakness. He'll find a little slip there and you go, bang. Not in Origin.
That in the New South Wales
not
team.
in Origin. Nothing in this. Nothing in this Origin outfit, mate. There's no gaps. That's why Munson, we're going to get to all these other players as well. It was hard for him to find any joy. I mean, they did when I think down that right edge when we'll get to Toya and that in a little bit. They did a couple of times about 20-minute mark when they tried to. And I was like, fuck, keep doing that. That's when Cherry Evans started getting on the front foot. Like, they just stopped. But then we just put another number over, right? We just, we adjusted. You make adjustments on the run. But Ponga, like, I don't know. It was just one of those games where I was just like, fuck, like he's just getting pumped the whole game. He just had no gap. He catches the ball. It's fucking 12 people there. What do you want him to do? Like, I don't know, but either just go like submit, try and find your front. Because if he tries to stay tall in the tackle, Liam Martin will pick him up off his fucking shoulders and carry him 10 metres. And so will Critter, so will Toto, so will Latrell, so will Crichton. They're all big, stronger. It seemed like we were bigger, faster and stronger than Queensland.
Agreed.
Over the whole fucking thing. You'll pick Ponga up and throw him out the fucking sideline. Same as Hammer, same as all their back five. That's what it looked like we could do. So all Ponga could do was just try and get to the middle of the field somehow, because he's getting jammed in these cage kicks, try and get to the middle with Liam Martin fucking coming down like a maniac. And on the other side doing the same thing. He just did his best. I'm not sure what we fucking expect from him.
He's stronger than you think, eh? So like, even when he takes that initial lick, there was a couple of times where he was able to like get a base and somehow fight his way out and the one that stands out is when he got hit by Latrell, sort of hit the deck, got back up straight away, and Latrell had to come back over the top. He was trying his backside off.
He's super fucking strong, but it's very hard up against it when you're coming up against your equal, right?
Yeah.
At club football, he's a little bit. Even his strength will get him through a lot of tackles and everything. Like, he's very strong through the hips. But in Origin, are you stronger than Critter? Are you stronger than Latrell? Tyler? Zach Lomax? Lomax? All these other guys, you know what I mean? They're at the pinnacle of their game. They're like that. And Ponga's like that as well. But, probably, the club football hasn't been playing that good there as well. So it's probably just coincided into Origin. It's just like, oh, well, he did his job. It's not going to, he hasn't got it. He's not under pressure.
I thought that was going to be an escape for him getting away from
Newcastle. I thought he was going to go fucking carve up. But the way that they were attacking, they looked
no chance.
Very pedestrian, mate. Yeah. Even Munster, and we're going to get to DCE, it's like, fuck, something's got to change there to get Ponga into the game.
All right, one sec. All right, mate, let's get to the wingers. I thought Xavier Coates tried his backside off. He was probably the best of the outside backs, in my opinion. Though he was either competing for the ball, defensively he was okay with a lot of traffic coming there, and just the yardage carries. He was the only one that was, I wouldn't say dominated, but he wasn't getting dominated himself. Val had a bit of a rough night.
Yeah, they're back there. Yeah, they're back five. They're fucking decent, mate. It wasn't like they were nowhere near as much as us. Like, Toya's a strong kid. Like, Val Holmes is strong. Hammer's strong. They just had off games. And I think you've got to give New South Wales credit for their defence. They were swarming from the inside. Val was like, Val had a few mistakes here. Not mistakes, but like just wasn't as, I don't know, it wasn't as smooth because I think he's used to playing centres for so many years now. Like, so he's played twos and everything like that. It's a different run. You know that.
Liam Martin, I think one of his first +1 carries out of yardage, Liam Martin. He got him. He didn't fully get him, but he got him enough.
You got him enough to go, fuck, if you keep coming in here, kid, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. Val Holmes is a gun. I thought he still played pretty good. He's a tough kid, tough human. But, like, he's used to getting the silky ball, right? I think I'd nearly muck around and put him in the centres again.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and maybe hammer on the wing, on the other wing. I don't know, like just somewhere because you got to add something. You got to have like some sort of combo with Munster and the back row, left side back row, Nanai or Cotter
Cotter was on the left.
So
Nano
Cotter,
was on the right.
and then you put and then you have Ponga around the back some moves. Then you got Val, and then you got Hammer. You could make some decent. I don't know. You can make some plays out of that.
Okay, because this is where we're going to talk about potential changes because New South Wales aren't changing the team. They've won, and they won significantly. Now, the two names that have been tossed up about potential changes, one's Murray Taulagi, which was forced due to injury. Do you envision Murray back in the team at all? And the other one is Selwyn Cobbo. Now, it's believed that Selwyn Cobbo, well, he was on a bye, but he's fit to play for the Brisbane Broncos this week. It feels like it was like a selection for Selwyn. It wasn't an injury.
I think so.
Do you see either of those guys, just because we're talking about the wingers and we will get to the centres in a little bit, can you see Selwyn Cobbo or Murray Taulagi a part of this team for Game 2 in Perth?
I think so because I think I can see both of them. I think I see if Murray's fit, yeah. I love Cobbo. He can't, like, he loves contact, right? Loves contact. Coming out of yardage, play twos. That's what you want. He can run into he'll run straight into Payne Haas and not care. I want that guy. No fear, no nothing. Find his front, spin out. Good under the high ball. You know, like, I think he looks fit. He's been doing a lot of work some of these games. He's been playing fullback and wing. That's a guy that I don't want to play against if I'm New South Wales.
Do you want him on the right side marking up against Latrell?
Yeah. Yes.
Right winger, right centre, because Robert Toya was really good. We'll get to Toya in a bit.
I think Toya's all right. I think I'm probably going to have him at right wing.
Yeah. So Rob Toya right centre, Selwyn Cobbo right wing. Xavier Coates doesn't deserve. Well, in my opinion, I think Xavier Coates is safe.
And
so left centre, Hammer.
Maybe he needs to. I think Hammer doesn't look. He don't look the same. I thought he had a couple of games. I think he carved. They obviously started the year off pretty bad. Yep. Come up with a couple of good games here and there, scored that hat trick and stuff like that, and then he sort of gone back down.
He was really good, mate. 24, he was good in the first game. He had a really good debut against Tommy Trbojevic like 3 or 4 years ago
in Adelaide.
He is proven like he is a player that's done a great job in the past. I think if there is a change, I think just because of the way that Queensland were manhandled, despite all the rumours in and around his non-selection and whether Billy has an issue with him or whatever it may be, I think you got to have Selwyn in the team. They really lack punch coming out of yardage
and aggression.
Aggression.
He's aggressive. He's really aggressive. And if he goes up near Latrell, he's fucking super aggressive with Latrell. You know what I mean? It's brother on brother. You know what I mean? I know what it's like. You just go out there. They go at it as hard as they can. They'll shake hands after the game. But I want to see that. You know, like I really want to see, especially coming out of that edge. And like he'll line up. He'll line Latrell up. And fucking, it'll be a good battle, really good battle. And Latrell will love it as well. It'll be a good battle. I just think you need Cobbo coming out of yardage, right? And left arm carry as well down that end so he can get over and step off his left. Like I thought he would have been one of the first pick. But obviously something's been fucking up.
Yeah. So the unpredictability of Cobbo as well. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Cobbo, when Xavier Coates come wedging in to make the tackle and then he tips it on and finds Brian Toto, Selwyn Cobbo's the type of player who might go for the intercept there too.
Yeah, I was with you.
You know? Intercept. And Latrell second guesses himself.
Oh, because he's so long, back down.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not, I don't think he's going to leave that play. Yep. You know, like, I just think he's, I think he's ready. If it was a lesson learned, if he was trying to teach him a lesson, he's learned. He's deserved whatever it was. I don't know. I'm not even going to get into it because I don't really give a shit because it's Queensland. But I want to see Cobbo play because I think he deserves it and I think he belongs in that arena. He's proved it before. And I think for their back five to get out of yardage, because we're unreal at getting out of yardage with Zach Lomax, bang, finding your fronts. That's what he does. See how Zach Lomax finds separation straight away,
Yep.
gets you fucking straight on your ass. He'll isolate the weakest defender, bang, double elbows in your chest. You go back, a little bit of footwork again, finds his front. There you go. There's the start.
10 games into his career at the Sydney Roosters, one game, he's now an Origin player. Rob Toye did such a good job at I wouldn't even I was trying not to be containing Latrell, and because he would have put so much effort into the game plan around containing Latrell, he didn't necessarily have any moments of brilliance himself attacking. But I think it's a huge tick that he didn't get manhandled by Latrell. Latrell never really got him and went bang and picked him up, or he also had some really good one-on-one efforts with Latrell.
Yeah, I thought he held his own against Latrell. Latrell didn't get many chances one-on-one because I think the Queensland defence was pretty good. They worked that out pretty well. They were working really hard trying to put pressure on Cleary. Cleary on that try, because he was running a lot, you know what I mean? He faked a run, squared up nice.
Beautiful.
He squared the middle up, he squared Nanai up. He got them all, and then because that was man on. They had the numbers. That was just brilliance from Cleary, which was very underrated. How he got the ball, skipped a little bit to go up, and then bang, then nice ball from Moses, and they all connected. That was beautiful play.
Beautiful.
And it's just great football at the highest level, to execute that at the highest level when defenses are at its best. It was outstanding to see that. But he held his own, man. He was getting the ball. They had a bit of joy when they were going down that side.
They did.
They're lucky they didn't execute it, because you know what? Toto is a gun defender, and he saved Latrell's ass one or two times when they had that little bit of joy down that our left edge. I was like, that's the beauty of Toto. He can read shit that well, shut down the play, sit back, wait for the cavalry to come, solve it. Most wingers would be jamming in. You know what I mean? If you're a young winger, watch Brian Toto. Don't worry about his yardage carries or anything like that. Watch the way he defends. He's one of the best defensive best defensive wingers in the game, because he could have easily jammed in. They could have had some real joy down that edge if it wasn't for him, because he got Latrell slipped over a couple of times, and Latrell got caught in with DCE dummy here and there. He got caught on his skates a couple of times, but they fixed it. They hustled hard. They got back there and they got it done. But he can hold his head up high. Young kid, 10 games, didn't look out of place.
He had a nice quick pass early on in the game. I think he just missed the opportunity to have another one. But I think Robert Toye because Billy said he was always confident in him. But I think he's done enough to hold his spot. I still would stay with Hammer, but Hammer's got to have a good look at what Stephen Crichton did to him in the game, because Stephen Crichton's going to be the player who's going to be there next game if fit. And he's got to be better. They've got to find a way. Him and Munster have got to communicate to each other if they're going to be a part of the team in the next couple of weeks. How do we find ways to break down the best defensive centre in the competition? Because Hammer was non-existent in this one, and I was waiting for him to explode. And
Cleary and Liam Martin. That's an edge. That's an edge, bro. The amount of work that Liam Martin does to get at Munster and fucking make him play early, very underrated. People watch that back, and that's why Munster had a quiet game, because of a man called Liam Martin. These are the unsung heroes in the game who don't get the massive numbers, but the pressure that he put on Munster, and he fucking knew he had to play early, otherwise Liam Martin's hunting for his ribs, and making him play early, and that makes Critter's job a lot easier. It makes Cleary's job a lot easier. Then you all go from there, and it makes Toto's a lot easier. Zach Lomax's.
All right, let's get to, I would say, 2 out of the 3 most talked about selections or players that are perceived to be under pressure after this performance. Now, Cherry was carrying it into the game. We were hearing noise that he might not even have been a part of game 1. He addressed it after the game with Billy and the presser, saying now that they've lost the game in the way that they did lose the game, he's fully aware that everyone's under the microscope now. Cam Munster, obviously a great friend of mine, great friend of the show, does some stuff with us. Those two would love to have some moments back in, because it was an arm wrestle to begin with. there were limited opportunities, but these two guys are elite. They're proven at that level, and they just didn't have the impact, along with KP and along with Harry Grant, that a lot of people expected them to have.
Yeah, I think I hate to say it, I love DCE. I think he's played his last Origin game. I honestly do. Like he's and he can hold his head high. He's done so much for the state and the game and national team and the Queensland team. But like sometimes you just got to pass the torch on, you know. And I just think it's Dearden's time to run the 7 there and have Munster there. So look, I honestly think that he's been one of the best players for the last 10 years. He's been outstanding human, outstanding everything about him. Can't question
Oldest
it.
ever Origin player.
Yeah,
So now
and
he's got that
fucking
record.
please understand, people. He's 37 this year. Do you know what I mean? He's fucking out there with these young bucks. Father Time is undefeated, and it looked like he's defeated. He can still have a couple of years in the NRL if he wants to. He can hang the boots up right now and have a fucking Hall of Fame career easy. You know what I mean? But I think if Queensland really want to improve their attack, they're going to have to go with Dearden and Munster. I love DCE as a player. He's had it for Sabre and has their moments, mate.
Yeah, I think he didn't necessarily have the worst game, but I think he needed to have a big game because Dearden was applying the pressure. The only thing I'm hesitant, and this is even a bias aside with Ches, you talked about the kicking game of Munster at times, and Money's got a good kicking game, and I said this before. Jerome,
but it ain't
Munster have it's not great. And Tommy Dearden doesn't have a huge kick as well. So when you're losing the physical battle, Mace, like they do at the back, I almost think it not guarantees, but I think it gets Ches another couple of games because I don't think Tommy Dearden or Munster have the kicking game that's required to even keep them as close as it was. And that's not even biased.
No, we're speaking like we don't know DCE. Yeah. I'm speaking like I don't know him at all. I was just looking at the game. He wasn't digging into the line like he can. You know what I mean? So therefore, if he doesn't dig into the line, the defense just moves straight out, and it doesn't give any of those backs or back rolls any space. You know, the back, you know what I mean? Like Cleary digs into the line. He's going to copy his licks. That's why they get space out wide. I didn't see that from him. I know they were in really shitty positions all the time. It wasn't a Munster or DCE sort of game. It was the fucking Tino and Harry Grant, a middles game. It was middles and back 5. And Queensland got dominated in the middle and their back 5. So I'm not sure what you want to fucking do with your halves, right? I just think it is a real tough one, right? I think Harry Grant got busted up fucking real early. It was hard to come back. He played a lot of minutes, tried too hard probably. A lot of pressure on these guys, man, when you play at Suncorp.
Do you feel sorry for Queensland, Billy Slater and the halves, mate?
Not much. I just want to, I love DC. If he gets picked again, he gets picked again, right? He can do a job. But I mean, if they're looking for the future and they want it, they've got to fucking win in Perth. This is a must win. They're going to go to Sydney. Going to Sydney 2-0. Done. Series done. Boring. We don't get a bloody.
Lukey's got the sweep out behind us. He's loving it at the moment.
He fucking loves it. I mean, but me as a spectator, and I just love the sport. Of course, I want us to end it in Perth. But you know what I mean? Like just for the game and everything. Like I know how important a decider is. Decider is the best thing that can happen in rugby league. Decider in Sydney, and then everybody goes, "How the fuck did we lose that?" You know what I mean? I want to see that sort of narrative. You know, like we're going to be hard to beat over in Perth. We're going to have momentum, and they've got some changes to make. And they don't necessarily make changes all the time.
No.
That's the fucking thing. If that was New South Wales, there'd be 4 changes.
We've got 2 weeks still to go. There could be some forced changes through injury. So that completely changes the narrative. And also, I'm telling you right now, there are still a few players for New South Wales where, even though I think New South Wales are the better of the 2 teams constructed the way they are, he didn't necessarily have huge moments, but if New South Wales lose a Latrell, if they lose a Payne, if they lose a Critter,
Toto,
who knows? There's still a lot to play out in the next couple of weeks. So
these soft tissue injuries worry me. I want the clubs to really look. I mean, I know, they butter your bread. You know what I mean? I always say that, but like, fuck, you got to take care of these guys. You want them to come through Origin and then have a really big, long, a big hit at the end of Origin. You've got to get them through Origin. Most of these clubs, you've got to take care of these guys, especially with soft tissue injuries, which I think they will. They look at the bigger picture. You got to look at the bigger picture.
Who can do that from Queensland? Newcastle can't afford it with Kalen.
No.
Manly can't afford it with Ches.
I'm only talking about the Bulldogs pretty much.
Yeah, well, yeah. See, the teams up the top, you're always thinking Bulldogs,
and Payne Haas, and Payne Haas,
Yeah.
look after him. But they're not. But they're not going that good.
They're not, mate. They can't afford it. But
and he's on 1.2. You know what I mean? Like they're going to go. We're paying your fucking money, mate.
Yep,
that's how it rolls. And I think
I'm looking more at the Queensland players because they're the ones that are, New South Wales players. Even though they're going to be sore, you know what it's like, Mace. They're going back to club footy like this. Chest is popped up, chin's up. They're going to be hurting, but they don't have the hurt from the game. Whereas Kalen's got to back up tomorrow at Cogra against the Yuck Dragons team.
And it's not the hurt, right? It's not the hurt of like physical hurt. It's the hurt and the bit of embarrassment. Bit of embarrassment too, because like they're all getting questioned. When these fucking wanker journos start questioning you, fucking like you're playing shit, give you a 6 out of 10 or 4 out of 10 and shit like these players look at that shit. Do you know what I mean? They look at it. They look at it and go, fucking hell. And then they know that people are looking at you going, you played awful, because they have that narrative, right? And that's a bit of a shame. It's a bit of a shame job there. You're like, fuck, you don't want to lift your fucking head up in public. But when you fucking win,
name?
Well, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, who was it?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to go too hard in the paint on him.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like they get, it's an embarrassment, right? I remember, you want to walk around the fucking streets like you're a king. And that's what the Blues players would be like. We won the game. We got it at Suncorp. They'll be walking around training 6'5", everything. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be feeling bulletproof. But the Queenslanders, on the other hand, it's a confidence thing, mate. Yep. And they're going to be rating some of their best players like Cherry Evans and Munster and Harry Grant. They probably got 5s and 4s. I'm not even going to fucking, and I can't even contemplate giving an Origin player less than 6. I don't give a shit how bad you play. You're playing against a fucking classy outfit there, mate.
There were only 2 players that were given a rating under 6, so I don't want to get you fired up anymore.
Nah, fuck them, I don't care anyway.
Let's talk about some positivity anyway. Not positivity. Well, yeah, in a way, I thought these 2 guys, their stint to begin with under duress was really good, and I think it was noticeable in particular when Tino went off at the 25-minute mark. There just wasn't the cavalry coming off the bench, and it was a bit aggressive, and he went a bit over the line like we talked about, but you could tell that Tino is the only one that had a presence about him outside of the heroics of Jeremiah the whole game in different ways. But I feel like Tino needs a little bit more help. Maybe Mo's more suited to coming off the bench, whatever they may do there. But Tino
and you sort that shit out. Like for more, you either start him or you don't put him in the side. They need another. Surely they've got a couple of middles that they can put in.
Here's my guy. So Horsburgh.
Get the bra in.
Get the bra in there?
Start the bra as well.
Yeah.
Start him with Tino and just fucking go
Mo
at it.
coming off the bench?
Yeah. You got to start the bra. Like, he's aggressive. He's got a good offload in him. You know what I mean? Like, he plays with, imagine the passion he's going to have with that fucking second game. Like, you don't have to coach that into him. He's going to go mad.
They bullied Queensland at times. Outside of Tino's the only one they couldn't bully. He's the only one that stood. I know he had a couple of bad offloads at the end, but that's because he was standing in contact.
Right.
No one else in Queensland's team who carried the ball could stand in the contact and look around because they were getting fucking manhandled to the ground.
Yep, no one. Apart from him. And Tino, as I said at the start of the show, like, I get it. I want him to play like that all the time. I just don't want him to get penalised and cost his team. Like and that's refereeing. That's their interpretation. And like the interpretation's Origin. Fucking hell, there's different rules, mate. Like just, if you drop, and I was saying, if Tino dropped an clean elbow on someone's head in there, all that sort of real grubby shit, which he's not like that, then you're penalised. But if it's just roughing up and you're just so emotional before the game, you could see who's highly emotional. There's a lot of things going through his head, representing his family, coming back from injury and everything like that. It was a fucking big feat for him, you know what I mean? So I think he needs help. He needs help because he can take Payne Haas on himself, right? Carrigan's got to step up. I wanted Carrigan to get more, but Carrigan can only go if it works in threes, right? Like you got Payne Hart, Big Tino, you need another one, like
They
just
need
say a
one more.
Horsburgh, and then you've got Carrigan. He can do what he wants. He can get a little bit wider from the ruck. He can start building combinations and everything like that with Tino, with his back rowers. You know, like he was getting some good ball, but our defense was just too good. It was like he was going one out.
You know
They were
what's
just under the
missing for
pump the whole
Queensland?
time.
I threw this name up there, and we'll get to sort
Who
of
else?
the makeup
Sorry,
of the team.
sorry. Who else could play front row for Queensland apart from Horsburgh?
You know who they're missing? And not the version of where he is right now and the circumstances, but if they had David Fafita with the mindset of Jeremiah Nanai and how he attacked being dropped and then attacking his game and front
Fucking
loading,
outstanding.
that's who they're missing, mate. They're missing the bra for some aggression, some niggle, and they're missing a powerhouse to come off the bench like David Fafita, like Spencer Lenu provides for New South Wales, to just run on and skittle some people for 25 minutes.
Couldn't have said it any better, but I just did, just fucking impossible to get picking from fucking reserve grade, and Queensland's got, all these things that they need to tick off before you even get near that side. What Billy's trying to build, that culture, he doesn't go nowhere near it. So he won't get picked for a fucking couple of years. But,
and I just want to clarify too for people watching this, the best version of David Fafita, not the current version right now.
2022, 23, David Fafita.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Yeah. And I hope to God that he gets back to that, by the end of the year. Even like, just what happens if he plays in the next 3 weeks and just kills, like does David Fafita shit? Does he get to game 2 game 3 if it's a decider? Probably not, but I'm just fucking, speaking out loud.
I have my reservations of even though I put him in the team when we were talking about the back five, I just don't think Selwyn Cobbo and David Fafita would be a part of Billy's plans because of who Billy was as a player and what he deems important.
He doesn't fit that mold. That is what he's trying to build, mate. What he's trying to build. But hey, they need something. You can't if they don't make any changes, it's fucking series over.
Harry Grant, the best 9 in the game, baby goat. Probably the worst game I've seen Harry play. And you want to reinforce how much you love a guy when you're critical of players in this, and he's had huge moments. But not only the kick early on, which was a 7-tackle set, just didn't find the spot, and you can also attribute that to Ches getting tackled on the last tackle as well. Yeah. Whether Money gets over in the position, like this is there
was other options,
that was a spine problem, but then. A penalty knock-on, a couple of knock-ons, a really bad period to begin with 30 minutes. And
he's better than that.
He was another player that you talked about it, but because he's Harry Grant, he missed like 4 or 5 weeks of footy before getting a short stint against Cronulla with a soft tissue injury. Harry will 100% be a part of the team in game 2. He'll be itching to get back to club footy and right the wrongs of what happened and try to correct what happened because the momentum didn't go their way to begin with, but he was a huge part of it if you're just being sort of honest with Harry's game. And he'll know this as well. So, that was a real, put that to bed.
Just don't even, if you're Harry, just don't look at the review like that. Just get back, play good footy with Melbourne. And as you said, he was out for 4 or 5 weeks, a long time, right? And then you play a little game, you play against Cronulla, get beat, and then next minute you're in Origin. You know what I mean? It's hard, but we expect great things from Harry Grant because he's a great player. He's already he's amongst the greats already. His fucking name's going to be up there at the end of his career. And we just expect things from Harry Grant that no one else does because his form prior to those injuries fucking near Dalian. He was heading that way.
Money was quiet and frustrated. Harry was quiet and frustrated. Did Craig Bellamy have any influence on their performances at all and any communication to the New South Wales team about how to best handle those two?
I'd hope so. I would hope so. Yeah, I think, that's why he's in the team. You know, that's why I love seeing Belly in the box. He was so relaxed. He was relaxed. He was just taking up,
No, he wasn't.
not
He
even
was
in the front.
holding on.
No, I know, but he wasn't fucking leaning over the thing like that and fucking this and, you know, like walking out, all that sort of shit. You know, he was very subdued compared to a Craig Bellamy fucking.
For sure.
Yeah,
For
because
sure.
he didn't get the front seat. He was in the back, just sitting there going. His heart would have been going fucking mad. And I think, you know, like if, you know, he's part of that squad and he would have tipped him up, tipped the boys up about Harry Munster. And it's nothing it's nothing that other coaches wouldn't know anyway. Be a few little nuances here and there, but you know what I mean? Just put inside pressure on Munster, pressure him more, attack, you know, like Harry Grant loves showing this way, going that way, little things like that he knows what Harry does off a quick play the ball, what Harry does when it's a slow play the ball, what Harry does when there's two leads, when he shows this way, his feet, all these sort of things that, you know, very nuanced, very detailed that he would have got. And, you know, like it just, you know, we just, our defense, we just got to credit our defense. We just really fucking hassled the shit out of all their key players.
I'm going to put these two in the same category in different ways. I thought, Paddy just completely worked his ass off. Reuben Cotter did as well. They're two Wally Lewis medal winners. Similar to everyone else in Queensland, they did okay. They went after the game. They had big numbers, but they just weren't able to have a huge effect on the game because of the way the game played out. Paddy still went 14 for 105 with 49 tackles. He's a beast.
Did he play 80?
He played 80.
God, that in itself, what he does, you know, like he's outstanding. I mean, I know they lost, but I mean, like he just, you want a Paddy Carrigan, mate. He just needs that one more prop. He needs that one prop because Fodawaker's numbers, I think he made 30 something meters. You know, like it was, you need to get over 100, son. You know, like he played enough minutes to make a bit more of an impact than that. But Paddy Carrigan's an animal, mate. Reuben Cotter's an animal. Love, like if I'm picking the Australian team, they're two of my first nearly picked in the 17.
So here we go. You mentioned Beau Fermor before. I agree. And I said this going into the game. I don't like back rowers being on the bench because I don't think you use them, especially 80-minute back rowers. I think Hudson Young was okay. He looked a bit frazzled. So sort of like everything that I said that would happen to Hudson Young did. But it doesn't matter because they won. Beau Fermor, he doesn't really have an impact at all because he's an 80-minute back rower. Is there a world in which they go Beau Fermor in the back row with Jeremiah, move Reuben Cotter up front, and then you have like a Horsburgh coming off the bench to create some niggle? Or is that enough? Because Reuben Cotter is effective and he works his backside off.
In the middle.
But the leg speed through the middle off after a Tino carry potentially?
Do you go Carrigan to start in at front row and Cotter
lock?
Yeah.
Yep. Either or.
And then you then have Nanai and then you can have Fermor on that left edge.
Yep.
I'd do that. That looks like a bit more of a balanced pack because Fermor needs to make
Waker off the bench.
And then just say another, and then you don't really need another forward. You can sort of go with like your Kurt Mann maybe. I think he should be able to push his way in there. And then I'm not sure who else gets that. I'm not sure if Liero makes a difference as well.
Well,
we'll get to him. Like, what is he like? You know, like he's another one.
Benny Hunt could be a chance.
Yeah, well, Benny Hunt just slides back there. So like having these guys, they deserve to be in that Queensland team. But Liero needs to play 80. He's that guy as well. Like he needs to play 80.
Yeah.
To make a difference. He can't come off the bench like Spencer. Spencer can make a fucking massive deal in 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
Can Trent Liero come off the bench and play like a Max King role?
No, he's just not. He's not a big enough body. He probably could if you asked him to, but I don't think he'd be making any dents like Max King does. He's giving away about probably fucking 15 kilo.
Trent Liero would probably be a little bit taller and I reckon even heavier than Max King.
No. Max is about 110, 112. He's a big boy, 6'3". No, but fuck Liero could just play more minutes.
Yeah,
like you just got to. What did you get? 15 minutes.
I felt like he got a little bit more than that in the second half. Yeah, he's a little bit more. I think they moved Paddy up front because Mo didn't have huge minutes.
It was just hard for these guys like Liero and Fermor to come on at that time when it was just a game where it was just like forcing backs, you know what I mean? And like for them to get the ball and they're, you know, like Fermor's a rookie, Liero's both rookies playing there. to try and really make an impact on the game and where to be, because they're trying to shift the ball, they're trying to chase points, you're not trying to set a base and set like your middles to try and get the ascendancy in the middle. The game was all over the shop when these guys come on, so you got to take that into account.
Trent got 35, Mo Fodawaker got 45.
See,
and Lindsay Collins got 30, who we'll get to in a little bit as well.
That's big enough minutes to make an impact, and none of them did.
Jeremiah Nanai.
Fucking love him. Just a story.
There was a couple of things earlier, like he was gassed at the 25-minute mark, Mace. He's unfortunately had a missed tackle down that edge on Mitch Moses, which led to the break, which led to the first try. But apart from that, he gave everything he had for the jersey. A credit to him and how hard he's worked since getting dropped in round 2. And I mentioned that arc at the start of last year. If they are any chance of getting back into that series, I know they were kicking for him a whole lot, but maybe they've got to come up with something a little bit more offensively, because he nearly went over for the first try.
Exactly.
A huge tackle one-on-one with Mitch Moses. And Ches and Kalen, they went away from it. Like,
yeah, you can't. I mean, I know we could do that at a club level, but like, he's a genuine hole hitter, right? Mate, if he's going to drag in Mitch Moses and he can just get a centre turning in a little bit, KP needs to be at the fucking back of that. That's where you'll get joy.
Latrell's going to come on KP.
Yeah, that's where you're going to get joy. That's where KP's the best at that. Fucking Toya holds back a bit, and whoever's the winger, he either plays short, he goes long. They're the shape that you need to get in, because of playoff Nanai's confidence and where he is mentally. He's fucking killing it.
Yeah,
absolutely killing it. He's locked in, and you've got to play off that. You got to get to the left post, get your Tinos running a bit of a decoy in there. Harry comes out, you get there, another decoy, and then bang. You know, you either hit Nanai or you get KP just sweeping and let KP start from the play the ball, and then fucking boom, he's there. All of a sudden, go late, because he needs to hold that short side. Like KP needs to hold the short side, just say if it's at that left post, hold the short side so they maybe get another one over there, and then fucking it's on late. That's how you get joy there. Other than that.
How often do we say stats don't reflect a game, right? So across the board, right, and this would be probably my podium, and yours might be a little bit different, but I from what we've talked about already, we both have Zach as player of the match. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You had Payne number 2. I had Yowie number 2 for me.
Okay.
I would argue that Jeremiah was the 3rd best player or the 4th best player on the field.
He's top 5. He's top 5.
I'll give him top 5. Here are his stats: 6 runs for 43 meters, 25 carries with 25 tackles with 4 missed tackles. But it's because of all the effort areas, Mace. It's not about stats.
No,
he chased every kick. Every tackle that he made had some sting in it. He only got limited opportunities to run the ball.
Shot on Payne Haas
too. He was a decoy so many times that opened it up for stuff. So when you watch a game and you just want to, do a player of the match at the end of the game because of stats, mate, that stat line doesn't scream top 5 players on the field, but he was.
No, but he was. I think so as well. He was outstanding. I just love the whole story. How he wasn't even he was playing reserve grade 10 weeks ago. Now he's playing Suncorp. And dominating.
Yep. The reason that there are at least conversations or pressure applied around the Ches selection going into this game and then after the fact, and I've watched some commentary on it, is because I felt like Tommy Dearden really had a presence when he come on the field. He straightened him up. He got in at dummy half. Harry wasn't having his best game, so he was playing a little bit more square and everyone was getting on the front foot. But then once he got into that Benny Hunt sort of role and Harry come on, there was some joy in and around Tommy Dearden. I thought Tommy Dearden was good in the limited time that he got on the field as well.
Yeah, he just looks like he belongs out there. A couple of years ago when he got thrown into that sort of cauldron, he's like, yeah, he's all right, you know what I mean? But now it's like he goes out there, he knows he belongs, right? I think, and that's why I think that Chaz is probably the number one person who's under the pump, because he comes out there, he knows what he's doing, he dictates terms, he runs when he wants to, he knows when to get to the kick, get to in different positions, and that's him playing hooker. You know what I mean? Like, I just think
it suits Origin because he's flat and fast and he's relentless.
Yeah. And that's what
He doesn't need structure.
That's what Queensland need.
Mm.
Fast, coming from that. Just say if you get from like just say when Cleary and Moses hooked up on that same side for the Latrell try, he can do that, right? With Munster. Munster needs that. He needs to dig into the line, show inside, play out, bang, throw, hit the Munster, get one-on-one. Like they can do exactly what New South Wales can do. They just got to execute right.
Remember when I talked about Tommy Dearden last year in the 14 jersey, and people were like, Tommy Dearden, you can't put him in the middle because he's mate. He was tough in the middle.
Yes, you can.
He's going to step up.
Jesus.
He's a Queenslander.
I don't think anybody who, like, I mean, when you talk to talk about elite players like your Deardens, like your Ben Hunts, and everybody like that, like, oh, don't put him in the middle. They can fucking tackle. They just didn't have to tackle at 3-man when you're out wide. They can tackle if they run straight at you. It's hard to defend out there. It's easy to. It's hard to defend out wide. It's fucking more work in the middle, but you run. Yeah, you just got to put your fucking head in there. All these guys are goals, man. They want to fucking. They want to try and put a hit on Payne Haas. They all do that because, as I said, everything's in Origin. You're all about Origin plays, Origin moments. Everyone wants their Origin moments. Imagine putting Payne Haas on his back if you Tommy Dearden. He'll fucking, he's got that power. You want to do those little things, right? That's why Origin's such a great thing. It's made up of all these little moments. Right? Origin moments. And that's why they all preach about all that kind of shit. And everyone wants their Origin moment.
We talked a little bit about the impact. I guess we're calling for a guy like Corey Horsburgh. Collins, for more. Liero.
Terrible bench.
There was nowhere near the impact, but also nowhere near the pressure for New South Wales that there was on Queensland to chase points, to go after it, and they just didn't have the impact that New South Wales has.
No,
and that's
they
just
didn't.
being fair.
And they come. I said before, they come on at the time where they were chasing points, and their middles like Liero and Famore were like fucking. They're pretty much on every kick chase. They get one hit up and then and they were getting busted. New South Wales were trying to stop points, so your defense is right up there. So they come on at a terrible time. They played 35 minutes. Played decent minutes, these guys, enough to make an impact on the game. But because they come on at that time of the game, it wasn't about settling the middle or anything like that and getting you at ascendancy. It was about, it was that game of force and backs. Just kick, chase, get in there, back five, pretty much take the first 3 or 4. If you're not on that fourth one, you're fucking on the kick chase. And that's what pretty much happened to those guys for 20 minutes straight. And you're not going to get many hit ups out of that. That's why their stat line was really low. But
all right,
shoe on the other foot, right? They come on when you got the ascendancy and you got the front foot, their numbers would have been way different. That's what happens in Origin.
Final words. A couple of weeks off. Sweep.
I don't want to sweep.
You really believe that, but you don't want to say it out loud, then it comes back and fight. That's how you feel, right?
Of course, it's how I feel. I feel sweep,
yeah.
But I know that the chances are of a sweep, it hasn't been done since what, 99, 2000?
It's been a while.
2000. It's been a while. 25 years. It's due for a sweep.
Mace, we want to thank TJM for being on board with us this year. And we have a little competition going for the next couple of weeks. So, as always, we rely upon our community to get in the comments section on YouTube. So go and put a story of a TJM built rig, add the hashtag TJM times levels, and the prize is a TJM portable air compressor. Here's an example from you, and this one comes from Goof Archoff. TJM were great when I modified my Navara D22. Had their front and rear bar, and they copped massive abuse with no issues. I would recommend their products to anyone. You get what you pay for in toughness and durability. Now have a 201B. Now have a 2018 BT50 that I am about to modify, so it would be great to win this prize. TJM times levels. Goof, you are in the running. We have 2 more weeks of this to go. So let's see if we can get some more comments in the next couple of weeks for the TJM portable air compressor. You ready to roll through the teams, Mace?
Yeah, mate.
All right, let's kick it off with the Dragons versus Knights, Friday, 8 p.m. at Jubilee Stadium. The Dragons are welcoming back Christian Tuipulotu. So Corey Allen will miss out on this game. The season-ending knee injury to Dylan Egan sees Luciano Leilua return. Toby Couchman also returns to the team. Kyle Flanagan and Lycan King-Tongia, they've changed in their jersey numbers. Kyle was 7, Lycan is in the 6.
Okay.
And Amare Gula is a part of the extended squad as 18th man. The Knights will welcome back Kalen Ponga if deemed fit from the game. So Fletcher Sharp goes back to 6. Gamble to halfback. Leo Thompson missed last week's game as well, so he's back into the front row. Brody Jones reverts to the bench. The odds for this game are, one second. We have the St. George Illawarra Dragons favourites at $1.53, Newcastle at $2.50, and the line is +5.5 to the Knights, mate.
This is going to be a hard one. I mean, just because of the Jubilee, I'm going to go the Dragons. I think Ponga's going to be a little bit busted up. I'd be probably giving him a rest. They look a little bit better with Sharp at the back there. At the moment, right?
Well, and considering too, right, what Kalen has just gone through, maybe the disappointment. Mate, you know what it's like. You've played in that arena.
I honestly think he'll play. He'll play.
So do I.
Yeah, I think he'll play. And Sharp, I'm not sure what you do with him. But the Dragons, I'm not fucking sold on the Dragons. Like, if they can have that combination, if Gamble can do what he did against, like, a Dragon side, right, which are pretty good defensively, with that Dylan Lucas, right?
Yep.
Fuck, that looked scary. But as I said, like last time, I'm not giving any credit unless you do it against a first-grade team.
Okay,
right?
so this is an opportunity
I want
to see it.
I want Gamble to go out there and do the exact same thing, try and ball play, and Lucas hit those same holes. Like, he's still went up against some decent players there, Penrith, not disrespecting, but it ain't the Dragons, right? And they say they're right edge. Will that be Luch? No, he's left. So the right edge you're going with Sewer.
Will be Jaden Sewer.
Sewer. He's an animal, right?
Yeah.
He'll take that personal against Lucas, and he's got these middles there. And I'm going to go the Dragons. But
all right,
this is desperation for the Knights. Desperation, but Jubilee sucks to play it.
Yeah, it's a tough place
Friday
to play
too. What's the weather like down there? Sorry.
We're okay at the moment. It's a little bit overcast, but it could
not
be.
Raining,
it's going to be chilly.
Dewy?
Yeah, a little bit dewy, but not raining. We haven't had much rain over the last couple of days.
All right, cool.
So here we go. Here's my same game multi for Friday night. If it ain't broke, do not fix it.
Yeah,
I think this is a coin flip game.
Yeah.
So therefore, if you give me +5.5 for Newcastle, I'm going to take it. And I said it last week. The two guys who haven't let Newcastle down at all this year delivered for us last week. I'm sticking with the same multi that worked for me last week. I'm going Fletcher Sharp anytime. I'm going Dylan Lucas anytime. I don't care if Fletcher plays fullback or 5'8". He's always in the game.
Yeah.
And Dylan Lucas, he's a player, and I said this before, if he didn't have a hamstring injury, not to say he would have made the team, but he would have been in contention.
He would have been in the 20, I reckon.
He would have been in contention.
Yeah.
So I'm going Newcastle +5.5, Dylan Lucas anytime, Fletcher Sharp anytime, and I'm not expecting them to be the first two try scorers like they were last week.
Yes.
But hopefully they're thereabouts and they're going after the game.
Yeah, I just think that Dylan's going to be, I think because of Sewer, he's one of the best defenders on that right edge. He's up against some. And if Dylan Lucas can get a try or even make a few line breaks down there, he's the man. Because Sewer, he's coming.
Well, it's a great audition for Dylan Lucas for rep honors, right?
That's what I'm saying. If he can get in a couple of times, even if he beats him for a couple of line breaks, bro, that's massive. No one gets Sewer like that.
The first game. So there's 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday.
Right.
Titans versus Storm, Saturday 3 p.m. at Seabus Super Stadium. Jalen de Groot is back to fullback. AJ Brimson to 5'8". Kieran Foran reverts back to the bench. Brian Kelly returns in the centres for Tony Francis. Bo Famore, Mo Fodawaker, and Tino Fasuamala-Awi are named to back up at this
They'll all
stage.
be playing.
As for the Storm, similar. Harry Grant, Cam Munster, Trent Liero, Xavier Coates have all been named to play. Bronson Garlick has been promoted to the bench. Jack Howarth has been named amongst the reserves. I thought Jack Howarth was out for the season with the dislocated shoulder. So he must be close, Mace. Obviously, the Melbourne Storm are favourites, $1.27 to the Gold Coast Titans, $3.80. And the line is 11.5.
Right. Titans, look, if you look on paper, that's a decent team, isn't it? Decent team. But I think Cam Munster, all these Origin players coming back, filthy. pissed off. They want to get that win. So they're going to be in your road. Titans are going to be in their road, and they'll demolish them, I reckon. They'll be pissed off.
You know what? What's the weather like there at Goldie right now, Mace?
It's a bit overcast. It's not raining. It's a little, bit of sunshine, but it's not beautiful.
But you know why this is dangerous for the Titans?
Dry.
Afternoon. It's not a Sunday afternoon. It's a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
They are specialists when they get a dry track and they get a day game. So very scary proposition for a Titans team who has just had no consistency this year. I can see big win to the Melbourne Storm. I can see a pissed off Harry Grant.
That's what I mean.
Munster.
It's just, that worries the shit out of me. That worries me if I was the Titans, and I know they've got some Origin players themselves, but
yeah.
They ain't money,
they're going to get the
and it
best
ain't
version
Harry
of the Storm,
Grant.
unfortunately.
Sorry, Titans.
All right, 5:30 p.m. Cowboys versus West Tigers. That is at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. The Cowboys have named Tom Dearden, Jeremiah Nanai, Ruben Cotter, Reece Robson. Jackson Paulo comes in for Murray Taulagi.
Yep.
The system of the Sam variety moves to prop. Cohen Hess goes back to the bench with Cotter coming into the lock position. And Thomas McCulley is the man who makes way. Lachlan Galvin is now a Bulldog, so he has been replaced by Heath Mason. And that is the only change to the side that lost to the Rabbitohs before the bye. The West Tigers are $3.10 underdogs. The Cowboys are $1.38, and the line is 8.5.
Always a good game, this one. They go back 20 years ago for that grand final?
Oh, yeah, true.
Always. They always
bit of a rivalry.
Have some sort of theme with this game when I was playing for the Cowboys. So I like the Cowboys, right? I think they've got a good team. I think just with Nanai coming back with him playing that good, Ruben Cotter's still playing outstanding. Reece Robson comes back from a win. Cohen has Neem on the bench. They've got a team. Scotty Drinkwater's playing outstanding as well. Outstanding. I think this could be one of his games where he just carves up this back line. I don't mind. Look, Tigers going to be thereabouts. They're going to be competing in every single game. They've just got that. They've got that team there. They're building a culture there. See how they bounce back from having no Galvin and getting over that debacle's all over now. Finally, for those they can move forward. It's Luai's team, right? Let's just see what he does.
For sure, they're going to be missing aspects of not having Lachlan Galvin.
Just the drama of it. That's all it is. The drama.
It's all done. I think the line is way too far away from West Tigers. 8.5. I'm taking the West Tigers plus 8.5. I think the edge that they will be attacking, that they've had some joy, has been in and around Sania Taruva when they've been flowing. I like Sania Taruva anytime, but also with Charlie Staines on the other side, I think the Cowboys can have some joy with Scott Drinkwater finding Robert Kentucky Derby on the wing for the North Queensland Cowboys. So, give me the West Tigers plus 8.5, Taruva anytime, Derby anytime, $7. All right, let's get to the last game on Saturday night. Seagulls versus Broncos, Saturday, 7:35 p.m. at 4 Pines. Huge game for both of these two teams. They really need to win. Now, Leo Hopewadi has been named at fullback because Tom Trbojevic is missing this game due to the cork that he's been carrying for the last couple of weeks. Tommy Talau comes in on the wing. Ches is named to back up, so Jake Arthur goes back to reserves. Alawai and Ben Trbojevic are also returning, but they're missing out on Siwa Takiaho, and Jake Trbojevic has again been given another week. He should be given another month, to be honest. As for the Brisbane Broncos, Madge named both Paddy Carrigan and Payne Haas. Jesse Arthurs has made the switch with Selwyn Cobbo, so he'll be playing fullback. Cobbo back onto the wing. And Ben Takura, the big, 7 foot,
fucking 6'9",
200 centimetre Ben Takura, he's on the bench in place of Fletcher Baker. So the odds for this game are the Brisbane Broncos are slight favourites at $1.70. Manly are $2.15 underdogs at home, and the line is 2.5 to Manly. So plus 2.5 to Manly.
I know Manly is going to be tough on a Saturday night at Brookie, but I just think the Broncos have too much class in the middle. You know what I mean? I just Ethan Bullymore, Josh Alloway, they're goals, man. They're but you're talking about Carrigan and Payne Haas. Like Xavier Willison. Like, they've got some big dogs in that team. And then I look at that back line. Ezra Mann looks like he's finding his groove. Katoni, Adam Reynolds, we can get him around the park. Selwyn's got to be like, he's got to be thinking, all right, there's a chance for me if I can just fucking
Opportunity.
lock in, and then Jesse Arthur's the fullback. That's mad. I've never seen him play fullback before, but obviously he can. So I just, if they had the props in the middles at Manly, even CY Takayaho's out, like, he's been their best forward. He's
Agreed.
33. Do you know what I mean?
Their
So
best middle.
I think the Bronx really need to win this game, and I think they can come down and, you got some Origin players all coming through this team. They'll be getting this done.
Mace, you expect Origin players to back up because
Yeah.
that's who butters your bread.
Yeah.
You also said there were games that you got up for Origin with a cork. Now, Payne went into the game with a slight concern around injury.
Yeah,
Does
sorry,
Madge
I didn't
risk
think
it?
of that. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure how bad this is. He's gonna have to assess the next couple of days, and if he can't, obviously it's Origin, you can get through. Like, the adrenaline gets through, and your body just can do amazing things at that level. But today, rest, Friday, Saturday, you're gonna be so sore. Friday,
You know
Saturday.
what?
So it's up to him to be doing all the little things. This is why these guys are getting paid millions of dollars. Professionalism is all that. He'll be sitting in a wellness center, hyperbarics. He'll be doing Normatex, in every single little thing that you can do to get him over the line. Ice
I'm
compression, just.
I'm expecting Brendan Piacuta to start, Xavier Willison to go back to the
Yeah.
bench,
Yeah.
and Xavier Willison and Ben Takuta to have huge minutes in this game, and maybe Payne plays the first 20, 25 minutes and they try to get him a spell as quickly as they can, or if they're in a strong position, then sort of have those big boys coming off the bench.
Yeah. It's gonna be. It'll be up to Payne Haas.
Yeah.
It'll be up to Payne Haas if he wants to risk getting another hit on it. All these sports science people, physios all around, they know what's going on. Eventually it's going to go to Payne Haas. Do you want to play, kid?
Yep.
Yes, I want to play. Most of these guys are animals. That's what people don't understand. They're built different. These guys.
Let's get
Absolute
to the Sunday
beast.
ticket. Pardon me. The Rabbitohs versus Warriors, Sunday, 2 p.m. at a call. Just the one change to the side that beat the West Tigers. Sean Kepi joins the bench in place of Liam LeBlanc. As for the Warriors, Fisher Harris is back from suspension. So is Rocco Berry. So he is listed amongst the reserves, I think. Mitch Barnett has been named to back up. Leka Halasima goes back to the bench. And Jacob Laban moves to 18th man. The Souths are $2.10 underdogs at home. Warriors are $1.74. So I imagine the line's going to be the same. Correct. 2.5 with a little bit of money for South Sydney at the plus 2.5.
If Souths get this would be a fucking great
Huge.
win. Great win. They're the real deal if they can get these guys. I'm going to go to the Warriors. I think they're on a great roll. They got beat last week by a decent side, but they didn't have Mitch Barnett or Fish. Come on. You add those two big dogs in there, and I think you got a premiership pushing team, right? I think they've got that sort of team. And I'm going to go, I think the Warriors. I just think they're just classy all over the joint. I don't see South winning. If South win this, I'll change my whole perspective on everything.
Okay.
On everything South. If they can get this game, or even be close, or even be winning, like at halftime, and then just toe to toe with the Warriors, and just get done, mate. You'd be sort of, then that'll give them that much belief, and then you'll be looking at South Sydney a bit different if they win this game or just go toe to toe.
I don't anticipate the Warriors blowing South out at all. In fact, I think South can win the game. I think they've won so many games this year. They're very similar, two teams, where the games haven't necessarily played out perfectly for them, but they've found a way to win. I think this is going to be a low-scoring battle through the middle. I'm expecting a huge game from Keon Kalamatangi. He was excellent before the bye going into Origin. He gets an opportunity to go up against both Fisher Harris and Mitch Barnett in the middle. Look out for a big game from Keon.
Yeah.
All right, the Battle of the West, Panthers versus Eels, Sunday, 4 p.m. at CommBank Stadium. This is a Panthers home game too, by the way, against the Eels. Dylan Edwards, Brian Toto, Nathan Cleary, Isaiah Yeo, and Liam Martin will all back up, or they've been named to back up anyway. Scott Sorensen also returns from suspension, which sees Isaac Tonga revert back to his favoured position in the centres. Harrison Hassett, he retains his spot on the bench as Liam Henry will be serving a 2-match ban for his crusher tackle. As for the Eels, Momax is back, and they got a famous victory against Manly whilst those two were missing. Unfortunately, Dean Hawkins is the player who misses out because of it. Sean Russell goes from wing to centre because Will Penasini is also missing in this game. And youngster Joash Papali, he retains his spot on the bench as the number 14.
This hard game. You have a look at this Penrith team. You're like, that's a fucking. This is a team that's very familiar of winning. You know, they win games with this team usually.
I'm tipping Penrith, but I wouldn't be surprised if Parramatta
I'm tipping Penrith. Yeah, I'm tipping Penrith.
Yeah,
I just think Yowie and that comeback, Liam Martin, just that little bit of hit of origin, right? You know, they're going to be sore. Obviously, it's a Sunday game, but yeah, just to have those guys backing up. You know, coming back from a win. Cleary looks like he's, you know, they come back a different man. Dylan Edwards, they're all looking fit. So this would be this stage where they've got to win these games when they're all got a full deck of cards like this to even make a run to even the top 8.
Penrith are $1.58 with the tab. Parramatta are $2.40. I don't mind the line. I think it's about 4.5, and it is. So 4.5 for this game. All right, the last game of the round. The Roosters versus Raiders, and I think this will arguably be one of the better games of the round because they've got the most recovery out of any players that are playing, and the Roosters are going to need that for Lindsay Collins, Spencer Leniu, Connor Watson, Rob Toya, and Angus Crichton.
They'll be fine.
As for Salisi, Feketi, and Egan Butcher, they go back to the bench, and a number of the youngsters that made their debut, they drop out from the team last week, along with Dom Young, who will go back to 18th man because Rob Toya is back in the back line. As predicted, Tom Starling got suspended, so Owen Paddy will start in his place this week. Hudson Young goes straight back into the back row. He'll be fine because he only played limited minutes. And Noah Martin makes way because Simi Sasangi goes to the bench. Danny Levi, he's the new name on the bench as the backup hooker with Tom Starling missing. This is a coin flip, $1.95 for the Roosters, $1.85 about the Canberra Raiders.
It's a good game, man.
Where are you going on this one? This is a tough one.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a great game. I know the Bra's going to be going at Lindsay Collins. I know that for sure. I love to see that. I love seeing that shit. Paddy Young and Crichton, that's going to be awesome. The backs, everybody. I think, where's this played at? Allianz? Doesn't matter for Canberra. They could play in fucking anywhere. Wow. Jeez. Canberra. Yeah. I love the way they roll. They're just tough. They just don't care. They don't care where they are. Ricky Stewart, ex-team Roosters, he'll find themes to get him up for this game.
He'll find
you know what I mean? He knows exactly these pretty boy Bondi fucking latte sipping motherfuckers.
Hey, this is the game last year, later on in the season, when the Roosters lost both Sam Walker and Cheese to the hip drop. And I know Elliot Whitehead's no longer at Canberra, and Cheese is no longer at the Roosters, but there was a bit of bad blood after that game.
Doesn't matter. That's the thing. That's the thing. Mate, this will be a good game. This will be the game of the match, game of the round.
Right, so this is my same game multi for Sunday, and because I can't split them just like the tab, I'm not even going to touch a head-to-head all the points, as in the line, sorry. I'm going to go to the total points. I think these two are going to throw it around. I think we're going to see some pretty cool tries. We're going to see some enterprise in footy from both teams. So I'm going over 46.5 total points in the game. I think there'll be about 4 or 5 tries from both of these teams, and I can't split them.
Yeah.
And I'll take the 2 fullbacks. Give me James Tedesco for the Sydney Roosters. He'll be around everything. Teddy's normally playing and backing up after Origin after these sorts of moments. So he's going to be nice and fresh on a Sunday night. And KO Weeks has been in everything for the Canberra Raiders over the last month of footy. So give me over 46.5 total points. James Tedesco anytime. KO Weeks anytime. And you get a price of $10 for that.
If the Roosters win this, are they the real deal?
Ooh. They're a top 8 team. So I think they're still fighting for top 8.
Yeah. If they win this, can they be a top 4 team? They string a couple more games together. If they convincingly
you've got
win,
to, mate, because I
yeah,
believe Canberra Raiders are. And
yeah,
no
that's what I'm
excuses for
saying.
Canberra Raiders. Only Hudson Young missing for Origin.
That's
Yep, I'm willing to say the Sydney Roosters are a genuine top 4 threat if they can knock off the Raiders.
All right. One more thing, guys. We are doing our first event at Wyong. So on this Saturday, you got Andrew Johns and myself, hosted by the great Clint Newton, who have been a great friend of the show and a great friend of Joey and myself. So make sure you get your tickets, get online. Wyong luncheon, Wyong leagues, 12:30, 3:30. So it'll be a good breakdown from this game. It'll be the R-rated version, not the PG version that you get. So get your tickets, get online. So I'll see you guys on Saturday. Cheers, guys.
Joey had his thoughts to say after the game, but I'd love to hear Joey
Mate,
no filter at Wyong Leagues with you, and Clint Newton will get the best out of him as well.
Newto's the king. Look forward to it.
All right, enjoy everyone who has goes up and sees Mace up at Wyong on Saturday. Thanks, Mace, for doing this up in the Goldie.
good.
Enjoy the time with the family, and we'll
Thanks,
see
mate.
you next Monday for the review.
Cheers, guys.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.